good business. He to be about keeping these commandments.
This is not what I expected out of them. The true Bible, the book of our fathers.
Right. The Most High has given us guidance on what we need to do.
Talk to Eli. Talk to Nashon. Talk to Ezekiel.
Shalom, 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 brothers and sisters. Most High in Christ bless you all. Most High in Christ bless. Here we are. We're at part 3 of our series on the Bible, the book of our fathers. The name of our part 3 of freedom from fear and bondage. Okay, freedom from fear and bondage. A couple of weeks ago, we also talked about the sorrow. Okay, there's a part of the scripture that speaks about sorrow. So before we get into it, let's get the preliminaries out of the way. Bishop, y'all, what's up? Come on, let's
Shalom, Israel. Captain Sarai, Most High in Christ bless.
Shalom, Israel. Officer Ezekiel.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. Also not Sean. Most High in Christ bless.
Shalom, Israel. Officer Ehud.
That's right. Put it in the mic now. Don't be bull jobbing. You know how I am, man. They be like, damn, Bishop will throw a shoe over there in a minute. You got to get it together. All right, brothers and sisters, we're here. All praise to the Most High. Happy prep day as we prepare for our Sabbath, which is going to be in a few hours. And kind of disheveled here. I was kind of in a rush to get down here. The traffic was crazy. And I was trying to find some last-minute things to put up so that we can discuss them in this particular episode of Part 3. But let's set the tone again, because last week we went over a lot of things dealing with the psychology of us, meaning the trick bag that we was put in by our slave masters. Okay, we dealt with this topic called, what was it, Dreptomania? Which was the evil concoction of this dude that they call a scientist, Samuel A. Cartwright, I believe his name was. Okay, that devil had basically coined a quote-unquote disease, because it wasn't a real disease, a quote-unquote disease that said that if black people were seeking freedom, that they were sick. Can you believe that? Mm-hmm. They actually said that, because we even showed the clip from Goodbye Uncle Tom. Yep. And it actually featured that clip in there, and they said that a quote unquote a Negro that wants to leave is a sick Negro, and a happy Negro is one that loves captivity. And they actually worked our minds to make us to actually turn the whole world against us. So anytime any of us, here we are, we're born as men, a man. We're born as a man. The objective of a man is to be a man, right. To control his own destiny, to set up his own nation, to set up his own family, to set his whole world up. That's what a man needs a kingdom to rule in. Right. And if they're going to say we're 3/5 of a man, see, you got to put all these pieces together. They're really saying that we're not men. Right. And why are you trying to be a man? That's how they really, all the way up to the date. They say, you know what, you uppity. The hell you mean I'm uppity? They say you uppity. You're supposed to be happy being a servant, because that's the whole point of what the slave ships were. Them bringing us over here in captivity was all about. But the Most High allowed this, and there's going to be a payback for this thing as well. Let's you know what? Let's read the payback. Let's start with that.
Got to.
That's right.
Give me Isaiah 14. Let's read it. Isaiah 14:1. Let's get it on in.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because our manhood got to come back, brothers and sisters. Yeah, okay, and I'm saying that to the sisters too. The sisters need to know that our manhood has to be returned to us, and we got to go get it. Give me Daniel 7:18 first. We got to take it. We ain't asking for a damn thing. We're going to take it. Read that.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 18. But the saints of the Most High.
These are the Israelites, the saints of the Most High. Come on.
Shall take the kingdom.
We're going to take the kingdom. Who's going to give us the power to take the kingdom? Jesus Christ. We ain't going to do nothing at the moment because the scriptures say, wait ye upon me. So we ain't going to do nothing illegal. Let me say that again. We ain't going to do nothing illegal. We ain't going to go upside somebody's head and all that. We're not going to do any of that at all. Right. You know, that's the reason why we have our disclaimer saying what it says. Right. We're not going to do any kind of evil at all. You know, as a matter of fact, let's get that disclaimer out the way while we're at it. Then we come back to the scriptures.
Yes, sir. Israel United in Christ. We are not a hate group.
No, we're not. Come on.
We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement.
We are a nonviolent Bible-based movement.
We do not advocate or condone.
Let me say that again. We are a nonviolent Bible-based movement. But wait a minute now. Don't they say in this country, in God we trust?
That's what they say.
If you find us violating what's in the Bible, then you got us. But you don't even want to deal with us because you know we're coming out of this Bible. The book that you say you believe in. But actually, the Bible is the book of our fathers, not your fathers.
That's right.
The book of the Bible is not your book. It's the book of the Israelites. That's what Romans is talking about. It says to the Israelites, to the Jews, meaning the real Jews, the real Israelites, unto them was committed the oracles of God, which is the Bible. Okay, so that is the Bible, the Holy Bible, which is the book that it belongs to the nation of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. Read.
We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or
These
gender.
are true. We don't have it. We don't initiate. Let me say that again. We don't initiate any acts of. You know, I got to break it down. I mean, it's
Break it
clearly
down,
written,
Bishop.
but I got to break it down.
Yeah.
We do not what?
We do not advocate
We do not advocate
or condone
or condone.
any acts of violence against any race.
That's the truth. We don't. Even the so-called Jews, they're gonna get theirs, but we're not gonna advocate any violence
Right.
against them. We're not gonna condone any violence against any of them. But we're gonna speak the truth. Damn it!
That's it.
We're gonna do that. But we ain't gonna do anything that you try to say that we are about. We're not about a hate, advocating violence or condoning no acts of violence. None of that at all. Read.
Right.
We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race,
Any race, go ahead.
ethnicity,
any ethnicity,
or
go ahead.
gender.
Or gender. Male, no matter what, no matter who you are,
Right.
no matter what gender. It ain't but two genders. Wait a minute now.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah,
Hey, talking about
just
matter
keep
what
that
gender.
right.
Like there's 3 or 4 genders.
Right.
Yeah.
Babies. What the hell is
Babies.
that? No.
Don't let them pull you in, bitch.
No, they
Yeah.
ain't gonna pull me in. No. That's a uppity nigga
Right.
there.
Yeah.
No. You ain't gonna get me on that one. No, but we do not advocate any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. Go ahead.
We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone,
This is us. If we learn about something that is illegal, we learn about something that is wrong. We learn about something that deals with putting harm, that cause harm or anything like that.
Criminal acts.
Criminal acts. We are going to tell.
Your ass going to jail.
You're going to jail.
Right.
Go ahead.
we advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authority.
You must contact the proper authorities, the authorities that deal with that particular crime. Go ahead. That's what the authorities mean. Meaning that particular crime, they need to be notified about this here. We're all about all of this.
Right.
But here we are. Go ahead. Yeah. But we are the victims of rape, robbery, murder. But yet we have to say that we're not a hate group. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
Now I'm just saying, in that part of that, if we know about it, because you can be affiliated with that by you keeping it a secret.
Right.
That's like you condoning it.
Right.
So you can get caught up in that madness by just keeping it to yourself,
Right.
not
saying
going
that.
to the proper authorities.
Exactly.
You can get caught up in that. Now you affiliated with it.
Right.
So we're gonna bring it out.
Right. Exactly. And that's the whole point there. Go ahead.
You must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1.
So this is the reason why we do what we do, okay? If somebody committing some wickedness and some evil that's going on, we have to bring it out. We got to, because we cannot have sin among us. Right. We have to do that. Thus saith the Bible. The Most High said it in Leviticus 5 and 1. We have to tell it. So we're not going to condone it among each other, and we damn sure ain't going to condone it when you bring it to us, okay? We going to tell. Okay. So with that being said, because I know a lot of people don't like that kind of thing, but our people need to realize, because we're talking about Esau, we're talking about how we messed up and all, how Esau is over us and got us in a psychological trap, like what I was talking about, drapetomania. Got us trying to put that mindset on all of us. with all of that happening, we are the reason why we're in this mess.
Right.
We
Right.
are the reason why we're in this mess. So we have to deal with us. We ain't letting Esau off the hook. Hell no.
Right.
But the reason why we're in this, it has nothing to do with us being inferior. Has nothing, because you have to say these things. Some of our people actually believe that we belong on the bottom. You don't belong on the bottom. You are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. The scriptures say that you are a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. Above all people on the face of this earth. That's what God has outlined for us. But when we broke God's commandments, we ended up underneath these enemies. And now we're in a mess. So our way to get out of it is to return unto the Lord and keep his commandments. Okay? So go ahead. You were going to say something? Did you get it out?
Well, I
No,
did
good.
want to say,
good.
too, and I'm glad we combed through
Yes,
the
sir.
disclaimer there because, again, notice we're talking about Israel united in Christ, okay? And it says right off the top, we are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. So we got to make sure that's clear.
Right.
And I love this because, again, it's separated from all the other or anyone else that is doing evil out there.
Right,
Okay?
exactly.
Don't try to tie us in with them.
Right. And we know that there's some brothers and some camps out there that's trying to do the right thing. But even in that case, we understand that all of us have our particular paths to get to the Most High. So we have a respect towards those.
Right.
If they're cordial with us, we'll be cordial with them. But the rest of them that want to act like straight niggas
Right.
or nukas, we ain't rolling with you. Just tell you flat out. We're not nice either. Don't bring that bull crap to us. Right. Okay? But if you want to deal right, we're going to deal right with you. We salome you on the street and all that, and we keep it moving.
Right.
All right? So, but we're not affiliated with any foolishness, and we're not going to be tied up with any foolishness. So don't bring it to us. So,
You want to finish in Daniel?
yes, sir. Yes, let's get that in Daniel, because we got to get our manhood back. Okay?
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 18.
And notice the title says freedom from fear and bondage. And the other thing that we tackled a couple of weeks ago was about the sorrow. We talked about that the Lord will bring us out of our sorrow as well as our fear and from our hard bondage. Today we're going to concentrate more on the fear part. But go ahead.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever.
The kingdom involves our manhood, and we're going to possess our manhood. We're going to possess the kingdom. We're going to possess the rulership. We're going to possess it all. That's what men have to have. We, as the Israelite men, we have to have that thing. We're not normal without our kingdom. That's like a lion with no teeth.
Right.
That's how we are. And you wonder why we bugged out crazy and losing our mind and all that. And I mean, some of us are bugged out crazy. I got to tell y'all something. I got to do it. I got to
Bring it up, bitch.
Damn, y'all don't want me to do this here.
Yes, we do.
Y'all don't want me to do this here.
Bring it up, bitch.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Y'all got to say something. I got to send it to him. I saw something yesterday. I shouldn't do this.
Bring it up.
This is just off
So
the
you
chain.
actually saw this.
I saw this. It was a video. I saw this thing. And it has a close correlation to what I used to deal with in terms of when I was working in that field. And I used to see stuff like this here. So it was absolutely, I'm going to just play this here. Because we got to get our manhood back to get rid of these, oh, Lord, where is it at? Wait. Go ahead, say something. I got to find it.
Yeah, well, you just reading. What was you reading? 7?
Yeah, 7, 8,
18.
setup.
Yeah.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall...
Now, it clearly says the saints of the Most High. We all know who the saints are. Those is keeping those laws, statutes, commandments, in the faith of Christ. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
That pertain to us. Everybody thinking they saints ain't saints. Okay. Go ahead.
But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom.
He said take. So it ain't just going to be given to us. Okay. And it starts with, again, going back with us, what we were saying. Keeping God's laws, statutes, commandments in the faith of Christ. Okay. That's the only access we're going to have, even a chance to even take it. Taking our minds back. Like I said, our manhood back, our history back. Okay. There's a lot entails in that. All right. So we think, again, these laws, statutes, commandments is for everybody. Okay. They will be at some point, exactly will be. But right now, this belongs to us. Okay. And everybody feeling and fumbling around with it, doing what they want to do with it. But this belongs to us, the saints. Something that we lost.
Hey,
okay.
Yeah, we'll get them up to speed later on.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get them up to speed.
Right.
Go ahead, Bishop.
Now, I gotta shift scriptures again. We gotta come back to this. Give me Deuteronomy 28, verse 28 and 29. Then I'm going to play a video. Don't play it yet. Lord have mercy.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 29.
Yes.
And thou shalt grope at noonday.
What verse 28 say?
Verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee
That's what I need.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness.
The Lord shall smite the Israelites with madness. Madness means craziness. And I'm talking about real craziness. Okay? And it ain't talking about, because let's get some understanding. You have, I'm almost going into the psyche segment again, but just not really. But just bear with me. I ain't going deep. The video just going to knock you all out. I'm not, you have people that are born with deficiencies, like mental problems, like born with it. Y'all follow me? Yes, or retardation and stuff like this here. Right. So they're born with it. That's not something that they're gonna get by living in a society where they feel like the society is not dealing with them right and all that. But then you have people that have psychiatric issues because of their upbringing, because of things that they experience, because of traumas and stuff like that. So this is where it gets deep at. Now, when I go back to Isaiah 14, it's Isaiah 14 said, "Get away." It says that He will redeem us from our sorrow and from our fear, from the hard bondage. But within that sorrow covers a whole myriad of problems, psychiatric issues. Here's an example from New York, live from New York City. Here we go. Hit me. Started from the beginning. Let it ride.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down, Wilson. Sit down.
Do y'all see this? No, you ain't got to pause it. Do y'all see what he's...
It's a damn minute.
Yes.
Come on, sit down properly. Why you wearing no pants today? Let's fucking wear no pants, Wilson.
Oh, it's Wilson.
You have some, Wilson, have some.
Why are you recording that?
Wilson, have some.
This is 49th Street.
I've been drinking all day, Wilson, have some. I'm not fucking playing with you, Wilson. Have some. I fucking said have some. I fucking said have some, Wilson. Fucking Wilson. Let's fuck. Mom's been making me drink all day, Wilson. Fucking way. Fuck.
Now,
Paul Wilson.
bring it back to me. Sound like that dude on the
Yeah.
on the what was it, Castaway? That damn ball.
He took it to another level.
Because the madness will drive you there, and you see the conditions. That dude, it's good that you mentioned that. The Castaway, that dude, what was his occupation before he got lost? He was something. He wasn't crazy.
He worked for FedEx. He used to fly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you got to have some sense.
He was
to
like
work.
a pilot or something.
Right.
He used to fly the freight.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. You got to have some sense to work for FedEx. But after being on that island for that long time, things began to change your mindset. So the craziness set in on him. So basically what I'm saying is that the guy in Castaway was not born with a mental deficiency, but circumstances brought that, which is what we just saw here. This is in the train. The train station, I recognize it because I saw when they have to do. That's 42nd Street, Times Square. That's what, not Times Square, 8th Avenue. That's the, that look like the, I'm trying to see if that's the IRT or the IND. But it looked like the A line, the A train that stops there. So, there's nothing but crazies in that area. That's Port Authority. The crazy people, our people bugged out all over that area. So that's what you see there. See?
It's just like
that took me back to, I used to have to deal with people like that on the job. Yeah. So this is and this is not funny. This is not funny at all because this is serious. And he's really bugged out. He's really bugged the hell out. Go ahead. What y'all gonna say?
No, I was just thinking about the one you showed one time before. The guy took the man's mop bucket.
Yeah.
And took a crap in the mop bucket,
exactly.
you know.
Yeah, that's it.
And then try to fight the man like he was wrong for taking his mop bucket, you know, trying to work.
Like, you see what I'm doing?
Yep.
Right.
So,
and continue to do it.
Yeah, yeah. So
the madness.
This is the craziness that we're dealing with. This is the madness. Read that in that Bible again. This is what the Lord is talking about that he did to us.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness.
That ain't talking about from birth. That's talking about with the conditions of hell. With the oppression that was going to happen to our people, that was going to make us crazy. And basically, we live in a life in this oppression that we live in, where we're trying to hold on to our sanity.
That's true.
Do we realize that?
That's true, Bishop.
We are underneath so much oppression that it's a daily fight to hold on to your sanity. Right. And some people can't hold on to it, like this brother on the train here. He couldn't hold on to it, and he just flipped out and lost. The people on the train, you saw the woman walk up to the camera. She said, "Why are you recording this?" Because she understands that. She realizes that the brother he done lost control. He lost it. And she didn't want it to be like, y'all going to make fun of this. This is not funny. This is not This is not funny. This is my brother. And, in New York, we're used to seeing craziness like that all the time. There was one time I used to work all the way, and I used to work on Flatbush. And I used to have to catch the number 2 train, and I used to get off at midnight. So the train that's be the last stop. Man, by the time I get to 125th Street, man, you don't know how many crazies that. And you see this all night long. You understand what I'm saying? So people in New York, they're used to this. But this particular episode here was beyond. You see people got the hell up. Right. They had to move because it's that bad. But that's what happened to us as a people. And it's a shame. It's a shame. We're trying to curb stuff like this here. Believe me, he's going to end up in the hospital, and he's going to see, he's going to deal with people like what I used to do. He's going to deal with that. EMS, 911, they bring those guys to people like us. Me and Asaph used to work in that field. So this is not no joke. And to see this stuff like this here, it's really rough. It's really rough. Read that again.
Deuteronomy.
Let me try to get my sanity back.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness.
As the blind gropeth in darkness. So he will smite us with craziness, madness, bugged out our mind because of the oppression. Okay.
And Bishop, it even said the blindness, because a lot of times you can't see your way out. You can't figure it out. Right. You can't see nothing no further than where you at.
Exactly.
I can understand that.
Yes, and that's where the sorrow, that's like I said, that's where the sorrow comes in at. You was reading that, right? Could I go to that real quick? Now, I know I'm jumping all over the place, brothers and sisters. Just try to hang with me. Isaiah 14, and read that third verse.
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
That's the part right there. Give us rest from thy sorrow. And as you was bringing out, Captain, the sorrow is that condition where you see no way out. That's where drugs come into play. Right. That's where crack cocaine comes into play. That's where all kinds of illicit sexual deviance. Well, I don't want to go that far. When I say sexual immorality, even let me even dress it up even more, because that's on a whole nother level. Fornication with indiscriminate fornication. I'll put it that way, because we have no connection with the sisters that we laying down with. We just go through her, go through the next one, go through the next one, go through the next one. So stuff like that there. Where we at?
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve.
And the Lord is going to give us fear from the hard bondage from where we was made to serve. So currently I'm dealing with the fear part of it, and we're going to get back into that. But I just had to throw that piece in there because we was talking about just trying to hold on to our sanity. And that's a case where the brother lost it. He wasn't born with a mental deficiency. But during his, he might have been in the military. You understand? And they come back. Just think about that. You done fought all overseas and did all that, seen your buddies get killed and all of that, and then you come back. I'm talking about Vietnam people that fought during that time. But even those that didn't fight in this time period, you know, because that was like, well, then you got brothers that was in the Desert Storm, so that's another one. You know, Afghanistan. So brothers did go to war. They've actually seen their people get killed in war. So you don't know what's on these brothers' minds.
Right.
You don't know what's on these brothers' minds. So when these things happen, we need to take note of it. And trying to hold on to your sanity is a rough deal. And that brother lost it.
A lot of times you be over there at war, then you come home, and you come home to even more oppression.
Right, exactly.
That thing will take a toll on your mind.
Sir. Yes, sir.
And you see the results of it.
Yep, yep. So, you know, let us be mindful of that. So where we was at? I'm done with Deuteronomy.
Daniel.
Let's get that Daniel. Let's get on into this thing. Let's get on into it.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 18.
Yeah.
But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom.
So we got to take back our manhood. That's where I was going. We got to take back our manhood. And the Most High is going to give us the power to do it. Come on.
And possess the kingdom.
And we're going to possess the kingdom.
Forever, even forever and ever.
We're going to possess our manhood forever and ever and even forever. When you say the word manhood, you're basically saying the whole kingdom. Because what is manhood without a kingdom?
Right.
What is manhood without rulership? What is manhood without control and dominance?
Right.
That's what we have to have. Give me the 27th verse.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given.
Shall be what?
Given.
So when we taking it, the Most High going to give it to us. That's the reason why I wanted it read that way. So nobody can say that we're going to be dealing this thing unjustly in a violent manner, like we're trying to raise up against the government and all that. They ain't talking about nothing of that at all. The Most High is going to give us the power to take it in righteousness. That's right. That's the reason why I'm having that read. Read that again.
In the kingdom and dominion, in the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven.
Under the whole heaven, meaning the whole planet Earth, where our manhood is going to flourish. Read.
Shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High.
Go ahead.
Whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom.
That's what it said in the 18th verse. Whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. Our manhood is going to stand forever. Go ahead.
And all dominions shall serve and obey him.
And all dominions shall serve our manhood. All nations, everybody going to serve the dominance of our manhood.
That's right.
So guess what? The enemies don't want that. Right. And because they don't want that, they want to invoke fear in us. They want us to be a fearful people. They don't want us to even come anywhere close to what can give us our kingdom. And that's the reason why there's so much opposition against this truth. Anyone that even speaks the truth out of this Bible, immediately they're going to align him with a hate group. They're going to align him as an enemy, a terrorist. They're going to align him with being radical and extremist. All of these things are designed to cause you to not pick up what actually belongs to you, your manhood, which is the Bible. Okay, that's what we have to get. Okay, all right. Y'all had anything to add before I move on?
Yeah. I was just going to say, also, there was a clip with Kanye West, because you were speaking about them not wanting us to get the kingdom. They want to stay in their kingdom long as they can. And I don't want to pull it up, but Kanye was pretty much saying, because, you know, the so-called Jewish people own the industry of entertainment. And he was saying how, like, us black people, we can make mockery of each other or talk about killing each other, talking about selling drugs. Right. And they won't do nothing to stop that. They, you know what I mean? They want us to stay destroyed and messed up. They won't do nothing to stop that. And Charlamagne even asked the guy, he's like, well, why did y'all put them out there? Why did y'all put these rappers and singers or whatever
Why you sign them?
Why you sign them? And,
right.
and
so wait a minute, this was the Breakfast Club or something?
Yes.
And who was on the show? Who was on there?
It was a so-called Jewish guy. I don't know his
name.
Really?
Yeah. The so-called Jew went to the
he was a entertainer. I mean, he
owned a producer or promoter or something like that. Okay.
So
he actually went there.
I can try to find it if you want. But the point was, they asked him, well, why are you putting? If you know that's what they're rapping about, they're rapping about destroying each other. Why are you putting it out there? He pretty much said, hey, I got a business to run. This, that, and They don't want us to prosper, but they want them to prosper. Right. That's the point that I was trying to make.
Right. Well, that makes perfect sense. That's the job of an enemy. Right. To make money off of you. To make money off of who he deems as slaves. And even though you're in the record music, the music business, and because I mean, it ain't just the music. It's in sports.
Yep.
It's in the movie. It's in every industry. Yep. They always have
Right.
a desire to make their entertainers like buck dancers or something. Just do what I need you to do. But if you even think to do something for yourself, you're stepping out of the line of a slave, and you're trying to be a man, and we don't want you to be a man. You know.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go on with this thing here. In the realm of intelligence, this is what we have to understand, all of us. In the realm of intelligence, experience should be the compass that teaches us which road to follow when that fork comes up in your path. In other words, when there's decisions for us to make on which way we should run, which way we should go, we need to be able to rely on experience and history. If we get to the point where we don't rely on history, where we don't rely on our experiences, how will we know which way to go whenever those decisions come before us? What people call a fork in the road. The fork in the road is like I could go here, I could go there, I could go there, I could go there. So there's different areas where we can go to, but what should guide you is where you come from. You know, your experiences is basically the road that you've already traveled. You don't want to go into a direction where you end up traveling on the same road that you just got through traveling on. So you have to know what's going on in the past. You have to know what we've been through. You have to know these things. So it's important for us to know that. And if we have a situation where our minds are seared and framed to where we cannot access our own ability and our greatness, we're basically dead people. Okay? We must face these challenges sober. We need to be able to go back and look at our history, look at the things that we've been through, so that we can know how to overcome the fear. Because right now, fear is put upon us. Read that in Isaiah again.
Isaiah
14:3.
chapter 14 and verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
So we dealt with sorrow already.
And from thy fear.
This is what we want to talk about. We want to talk about how we get past our fear. And the way we get past our fear is that we have to know about what our greatness really is. And the only way we're going to really know about our greatness is that we have to go back and look at even recent history. We have to look at recent history. I'm going to bring up some points about our recent history that shows you how we got to where we got right now. And I'm talking about recent history in terms of just a few decades ago, like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s, you know, where we at now, 2022. Going into 23. So even in those steps there was some concerted efforts to destroy us from even waking up even that period. I'm going to show you those points as I move on. So, but like I said, we have to face these things. We have to face this reality sober. We have to be sober when we execute our decisions. Give me Revelation 11 and 8. Revelation 11 and 8. Okay, Revelation 11 and 8.
Revelations chapter 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city.
And so by us not facing our reality, by us not employing the experiences that we went through and using those as a compass to properly direct us, we remain as dead men, meaning spiritually dead. Because we are alive, but we are alive and we basically lost our sanity. We've lost our minds, okay? And it's not that we were born with a deficiency, but we live in a society that trains us to be dead people. Whether it's your educational system, whether it's your economical system, whether it's your religious system, all of the systems, legal, whatever it is, they all work in unison to make us into dead people. Spiritually, dead, of no meaning, no value. To make us servants, to make us comfortable in slavery. Okay? Read.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
So we are in a spiritual Sodom. That's why I was talking that craziness earlier when I said sexual deviance and all that, because that's what all that stuff deals with. This place right here is the capital of sexual deviancy. I mean, it's really here. And I mean, if we're not careful, along with your sanity, you will begin to embrace some of these sexual deviances. I know I'm going way off the cuff now. Because a lot of times we think that these deviancies are only towards the nation. We don't think that we are that we ourselves don't get it. Those sexual deviant demons comes on us as well as Israelites. That's the reason why Leviticus 18 has that recorded. A lot of those laws and deviancy is in the Bible. It's in the Bible. Okay? So because we are prone to go into that thing if we're not careful. With all of this evil that they're pushing out in the media, social media and all that, you're constantly seeing it every day. It's gonna bound to wear down some of the brothers. And they're gonna end up getting into that thing. So we have to be steadfast to make sure that we fight against all of that. Okay? What you got? Come on.
Spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. And they're really pushing that Sodom agenda out here hard. In the 70s, when I was growing up, they couldn't even come out on the street.
Even the 80s.
You couldn't even in the 80s. You just was no having it. None of that at all. Right. You wasn't having it. But then they said, well, we got to find ways to push it out there. Now, the next thing you know, here comes a brother with his Fruit Loops kind of business going on. What the hell is this? You're 200-300 pounds. Lord have mercy. You got to be careful even talking about that thing.
Yeah.
You get caught up in a daggone vortex and can't find your way out. But that's the deviance that we're talking about. Read on, man. Let's get back to this Bible.
Where also our Lord was crucified.
Where also the spirit, the true meaning of the Bible was destroyed in this country. Read it again.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Will is a spiritual Sodom and it's a spiritual Egypt. Okay, we serve captivity and bondage here. That's what Isaiah 14 was talking about when it says that he will redeem us from our fear, from the sorrow, and from our fear, and from the hard bondage wherein we was made to serve. We were made to serve that hard bondage right here in the great old United States of America. Okay, and that's the reason why this place is going to burn by the commandment of God. Okay. So where it says, where also our Lord was crucified, because you're not going to, even though they got Bibles in the system, you're not going to learn the Bible in the setup. So they lied. They crucified the true meaning of Jesus here. Right. Okay, so that's the point there. So now, let's see. Give me the book of Job. Job 32, verse 7. Because, like I said, we have to deal with this issue soberly. We have to be sober when we deal. Okay? Let's read that.
Yes, sir. Job chapter 32 and verse 7. Mm-hmm. I said, they should speak.
We've been in this country for many, many years. Okay? Centuries. Decades. And there's like I talked about before, that history and our experiences should be with us all the way from when we first got here. Don't worry about the white man teaching it to you. We need to find our best to find out what happened to us. Like the scripture say, ask your fathers, and he will tell thee. Okay, so we have to be mindful to know our history. We have to know where we came from. Okay, read it again.
I said, days should speak.
Many days should speak. This talks about experience. Go ahead.
And multitude of years should teach wisdom.
And a multitude of years should teach a man wisdom. Go ahead.
But there is a spirit in man.
But there is a spirit inside a man that will question his reality. That's the reason why I want this really read. When you come to your real manhood will begin to ask you questions. Your own manhood will step out. Let me try to make it so people can follow what I'm saying. Your own manhood will basically come out of your body, so to speak, and look at you and question you and ask you, why are we comfortable sitting in this mess here with no manhood, with no kingdom? You dig what I'm saying? Yes, in other words, that be that inner voice in your mind. I ain't talking about you talking to yourself now. I ain't going that. I ain't saying that. But we all have a conscience. We all have an inner self, the real self that's looking at the situation that you're in and examining it. Then it's asking you, well, what are we going to do about this problem that we're in? Okay, and this is what the spirit that is in a man is going to do. And a lot of times, when that spirit constantly bugs you, that that voice that says, "Why did you allow? What's going on? Why did you allow yourself to be in this predicament?" You don't even realize there's a duality going on right there, just in the language. Why did you allow yourself? Y'all have heard that talk before. That's in the Bible. Let's get that. I'm gonna come back to this here. Give me Romans 7.
Yeah, and while you getting that, bitch, that remind me of that.
Yeah.
That what's that movie? Was it called Us or Them? What is it? The guy come on, what you gonna do? You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that inner man was always constantly there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, because that's what that was. That's exactly right. That was his inner self questioning in him. Okay, so what I'm dealing with now is what we call the inner man, if you will, or that inner voice. Okay? Read.
Romans chapter 7 and verse 15.
Yeah. I actually have 14, but read 14.
Yes,
just because I mentioned it. Read it.
Romans chapter 7 and verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual.
The law has a spiritual effect. The laws of God has a spiritual effect. And our spirit should tell us that. Say that if we break the laws of God, there's a cause and effect. That's the point of what that scripture's saying. There's a cause and effect. If we would have been mindful of that before we messed up and ended up in this thing, we would have never came here. But go ahead.
But I am carnal, sold under sin.
And I am carnal, sold under sin, because the temptation out here is trying to get you to look at the law in obscurity, to be confused about the benefits of keeping the law. And then we end up subjecting ourselves to sin. So then once that happens, then your inner man questions you. Because there's a part of us that is connected to God. Let's read verse 15.
Verse 15. For that which I do, I allow not.
For the thing that I end up doing in physicality, what I physically end up doing, my conscience is not with it. The real me is not with it. Read it again.
For that which I do, I allow not.
For that sin that I would do, my conscience is saying you should not do that. My conscience is saying, why are you comfortable in this slavery? Why are you comfortable in this captivity? But our bodies, we continue to spend. We continue to act in an undisciplined manner. We continue to patronize these sports figures, buy these dumb records, participate in these dumb movies. You know, I'm talking about as entertainers and the rest of it. We keep doing the evil. But in our spirit, we know we should not be doing it. Read it again.
For that which I do,
for the sin that I do, go ahead.
I allow not.
My conscience is against that. Go ahead.
For what I would
rather do,
that do I not.
I don't end up doing what I know I should do.
But what I hate,
what I hate to do,
that do I.
So I end up doing what I don't like. So what's happening here? When he says, for that which I do, that's the flesh part. It said, I allow not, that's the spiritual part.
The real man.
The real man, okay? Another case in point is like when Christ said, in order for you to come with me, you have to deny yourself. Denying yourself is, again, he said, you must deny yourself. How could you deny yourself? If you that means there's a part of you that recognizes the way that you're supposed to go, but you have to deny the self that is tempted. You have to deny the temptations that works on the self. So it's a constant battle. That's the spirit that's in a man that we was reading in Job. Okay, even in the scriptures that say, "Examine yourselves." That's another point. We have to take that outer man that's going to step out. And it's going to examine the condition that we're in and it's going to cause us to look at where we are. And when we look at where we are, then the questions come up, what you going to do?
That's it. Yeah.
What you going to do? Once your real self sees where you really belong, and then you're not fulfilling where you're supposed to be, your conscience will beat you. Your conscience will wear on you. That's the spirit that's in a man. And oftentimes we are so weak as men. What we'll do, instead of disciplining ourselves to follow what the righteous side of me is saying, we'd rather drown out that voice with alcohol. We'd rather drown out that voice with dope. Right. And our enemies know this. So they'll give you the dope. They'll give you the evil records to make, like you was bringing out on And our enemies will make money on that because they know that we are not standing up like real men and said, to hell with that. Right. The white man, the enemies, is saying they're too weak to actually follow where their God really wants them to be. So I'm going to make money off of them. Right. That's what he was saying on that program. Right. Some heavy stuff there. Right. Y'all had something to say? No? No? Okay. Read. Now, let's go back to Job. Yes, sir. Let's go back to Job.
Job, chapter 32 and verse 8. But there is a spirit in man.
There is a spirit in man. Go ahead.
And the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding.
And the inspiration of God giveth the real spirit of man the inspiration to do right. But that's if we attain to it. That's if we allow ourselves to be, to embrace it and to let go of the temptation, to let go of the evils that brings us into doing the things that we would not, like Paul said. The things that I would rather do, I do not, meaning being disciplined. Right. But the things that I hate to do, I'll end up doing it because I'm weak. Right. And this is what we have to fight, brothers and sisters. That's the point in that. So I hope y'all understand that little bit of psychiatric delving, if you will.
So this spirit right here, Bishop, is speaking about that spiritual man that the Lord put in,
right.
That righteous spirit.
Exactly. That's what I'm bringing up.
That conscience.
Exactly. Now, the Apostle Paul was dealing with the thought of concupiscence. So it wasn't that he was sinning. The thought, just in case anybody's asking for the actual context of what's being read here, Paul was dealing with the thought of concupiscence, not that he was participating in it. Okay, so I just wanted to say that.
And that's heavy, Bishop, because we all battle with that. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people tend to think when they come in this truth that they don't battle with these wicked thoughts. Those wicked thoughts going to continue to come. That's why the Lord gave us these laws, so we don't entertain those thoughts. You shoot them thoughts down.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Let's see. I'm jumping all out of sequence. I actually had something, because I'm still dealing with fear. I need to send y'all something. I forgot to send this. I'm going to send it to y'all. This is out of the Willie Lynch book. I wanted to actually shape the picture a little better, but I think I'm going to have to do it like this here. I got it. Just, speak on it. Speak a little bit.
Hey, real quick, can y'all play you have something?
Yeah, just to kind of touch on what Bishop and the officer just mentioned, he said that
Go ahead.
It said that Christ it gave us that's what that grace is going into. Mm-hmm. It's not the actions, because the wages of sin is death, but it's the thoughts. It's the thoughts of us of these evil things. That's what we got to battle. That's the fight. Let's get that in 2 Corinthians chapter 2. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, chapter 12. 2 Corinthians chapter 12. We on verse 9. Because Christ told Paul the same thing, like the bishop was saying. Paul was battling the thoughts of these of the concupiscence of lust.
Mm-hmm. 2 Corinthians
chapter 12 and verse 9.
2 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 9. And he said unto me,
let's start at verse 8.
Verse 8. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me.
So like Bishop was bringing out, Paul was battling these thoughts. It was a fight between the righteous man and the flesh. So this is what Paul was giving to. He was edifying the church, saying, "Look, I battle too," but he was trying to take this thorn in his flesh from him. That's why he was praying 3 times a day. Read on.
Mm-hmm. And he said unto me, "My grace is sufficient for thee."
But this is the point. This is what Christ told Paul. He said, "My grace." The grace that we are all given is sufficient. Why? To what? Keep the fight, like Bishop was saying. Bring it out. Overcome these thoughts. Don't act on them. Don't fulfill the lust, but overcome these thoughts. When you had that evil thought, I shouldn't have done it. I repent and keep it moving. Read on.
For my strength is made perfect in weakness.
Because by us acknowledging and humbling, look, we all had those evil thoughts. By us acknowledging that and not acting on it, we're shown what? The strength that we all have in ourselves by what? In our weaknesses, by our weaknesses of being having sinful thoughts, having thoughts about things that we know we shouldn't be having thoughts about. But our strength relies in us what? Overcoming those thoughts. Not acting on them, but overcoming them and keeping them moving, repenting on those things. Mm-hmm. That's all I got.
You know what? It's beautiful that you brought that up, because you was talking about how we struggle with the thoughts of things. And I wanted to get you while you was in mid-flight, because there was a part that you brought out that I really wanted to tackle. You were saying that you was mentioning a part about when these thoughts come to you, right? Because you said that we all think these thoughts.
Yes, sir.
And what Satan will do, Satan will get to you, get beside you and say, look at your wicked, filthy ass.
Right.
You know you ain't righteous. You might as well just go on and just continue to be filthy and dirty and all the rest of it. When you should say, when that thought come to your mind, you say, get behind me, Satan, and stand up, repent, and keep it moving. But Satan will try to say, you know you ain't no Israelite. You ain't, what the hell you got that Bible for? You
might as well just go on and do it now.
You might as well just go on, and that's how the enemy works.
Yes,
People will come into this truth. I'm gonna use that because I'm glad you said that. People will come into this truth, coming out of the world. Some women will come out of prostitution. Some brothers will come out of gang banging, drug, and all the rest of it. You know, understand what I'm saying? And they will have these things in their background. And it's a lot of work because some of these demons that brothers and sisters got is serious.
Right.
Which is the reason, I'm going to say this again, we have a rule among us that we tell brothers and sisters, like when they come in, even though they, oh man, she's bad. She's bad to the bone. And the sister be like, man, she's cute. Or he's cute. Just say he's cute. And want to jump on each other quickly, not realizing what's in the background. Right. You got to give them time to really work on themselves. And some of these demons ain't going to come out in a year. Right. We try to make it. We say, listen, we gonna quote unquote, because it ain't biblical, but we try to give some kind of guideline to protect brothers and sisters for getting tied up with the wrong kinds of spirits, because you did not allow for the spirits to manifest to be corrected. Right. Yep. You can't do that. These are what we call backdoor marriages and stuff like that, and then you end up with these kinds of problems. Right. But the objective is that when they come in, brothers or sisters, when they come in, they have to have time to work on themselves, and that might take 5 years. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But you're looking to marry this brother, you're looking to marry this sister. 5 years that's a car note, but you're gonna own the car for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. So you dig what I'm saying? Some might not take 5 years, might take 3, but you can't jump on them right away. Right. You can't jump on her right away. You got to let time come out so that the Bible can really walk with them by their crooked ways and correct them. Then we can talk about, the next step. But don't be so quick. And this is one of the things that we warn Israel about. And a lot of times Israel don't take heed, and then they get caught up into some very vicious situations. It's unfortunate, but we tell people for a reason. Go ahead. So I'm glad you brought that out, right? Anybody else had anything else?
No, sir.
I was on the chat this morning. I was about to go somewhere else, but I was on the chat this morning. But this is early in the morning on one of our groups, and I was making a point about some sisters walk out here and they're clueless to what's going on out here in the world with their phones on, with their headsets, and they just be la da 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 da, ain't paying attention to nothing. I'm talking about sisters in the truth be like that, and if we got daughters, if we got wives and all of that, you got to pay attention to like you have a situation like we saw on the train. Yeah, you being there not paying attention, and this dude was beating the hell out of a mannequin. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know what's around you, and turn on you. Mm-hmm. Now you look like my mannequin. Right. And start going off on you. So you got to be, sisters got to pay attention to themselves. Right. I'm going to show y'all something, because there was a video. One of the brothers, actually, we used to live in New York. I'm from New York, and the brother that I was communicating with, he's from New York also. He recently come down. And we was communicating this morning, and he sent a video to illuminate what I was talking about. I'm gonna just read this real quick. I'm just throwing this out here because a lot of people don't know. Say, where the hell is Bishop going with this thing? But I think it's important for me to mention this, and then I'm gonna send this video out. So just bear with me, brothers and sisters. Bear with me, because I want to show you when I mention about the importance of us paying attention to our surroundings. These are the things that we have to do. I'm just trying to find it.
But you're making a very valid point there, Bishop, because these are the things that we teaching our kids, make them aware of, whether they even in school or on the playground. Because we see a lot of stuff that goes on, not just on the news, if you're able to watch news, or social media. women being, vans parking in shopping center places, parked all up against their vehicles, or putting money or things on their doorknobs and stuff just to, to touch that they pass out or something to that matter. There was a video I remember too. There was a woman that was coming out of the store, and another lady ran up to her and said, "Ooh, smell this, smell this." So you know how people be trying to sell cologne, stuff like that. And she took a whiff of it, because people just run, bum rush you all of a sudden like they're trying to sell something. And she happened to just kind of feel herself fading out. And as she was backing up, she seen a man appear, and he's smiling and looking, But as she was backpedaling, she, I think she was trying to make the notion that, hey, something ain't right, But again, this is very vital that, again, we do got to pay attention to our surroundings. We go in there to get something to eat or go in there to buy something to drink. You see the door open. Some people don't even turn to look. Just not paying attention to nothing, And stuff, y'all see stuff jumping off at any point in time, and you see this stuff on social media, you think it can't happen there with you or around your surroundings, Another lady went through the same thing where she actually had to show her weapon to the person because the van was standing right there, and she let them know, you come right on. She was letting them know, I'm ready for you. You come right on. Because she was paying attention.
Right, exactly.
She was paying attention.
Right. Now, I'm glad you said it because I, for the longest, and the rest of us as men, we try to really instill that our sisters and our women need to be careful when they're in these streets. Right. We need to really, really put that out there because some of y'all, not all of you, because I know a lot of us, we have our game on, but some of us are still acting like and our heads are in the clouds. Right. So here's an example of just what I call dingy. Play this video, man. This thing at the bottom. No, not that. Listen to me. It's a video that I just sent. Yes. Play that.
Okay, go ahead and get the disclaimer up.
Right. This was from TikTok. I got this on TikTok this morning. But watch this here. Is there sound on this thing? Okay. Look at this here.
Now, wind that back, bitch.
Yeah.
You gotta wind that back.
We gotta dissect that thing, bitch. You gotta think about
wham.
Even if that, cause
she's on the phone. Go ahead.
I was just saying, bitch. Even if, because let's just play dumb. Yeah. Let's say that was actually, she was still walking towards it looked like a little pool of water.
Yeah.
I mean, so even if it was rich, she still would have fell in a little pond. So she had no clue.
She is so into her damn conversation. She ain't paying attention with you. And that's how some of our sisters be out here in the streets with their headphones, their ears plugged up, ain't paying attention to nothing. And the thing is, let me go a step further. Because what people are not realizing is that somebody filmed this.
Right. Meaning they were watching.
Right.
This didn't just pop up in somebody's phone. Somebody saw that she was so preoccupied with the conversation that she's not even paying attention. So he said, I'm just going to film this and then I'm going to put it up there. But this dude could have been a predator, could have been a murderer, a rapist, any damn thing.
Sex trafficker.
And sex trafficker, all of that kind of stuff. That's what we're looking at. So run it one more time. Let them see. Then I'm gonna put what I'm gonna put up there.
No, you gotta wind it.
Yeah, it went back.
Look at this thing.
Okay. Look, she's arguing.
Yeah. Boom. Oh shit! There's a wall here.
She almost got mad at the wall.
Yeah.
She looked up at the wall.
The wall actually woke her up. She's like, what are you doing here, wall?
She having a deep conversation. See her arms go out to the side and everything.
She's like, where the hell does this wall come from? Damn. Where the hell does this wall come from? So, again, it goes into what I'm talking about when I speak about being aware of your surroundings. All of this is now I'm getting ready to deal with the fear part of it. Now, go to the other video. Go to the video. Okay. Now, wait a minute now. Before we play that, just remember what I showed you about the girl being all out of control, being all her clueless and all that. Let's get my Willie Lynch thing. Let's get that in because I need that before I play this here. Because what I'm about to bring up here is going to, let me see. Wait. Nope, let's go. No. Let's go to the video. Then I get this. Because this is going to tie into what I'm going to bring out about Willie Lynch. Play the video. We got sound. We got sound on this one, don't we?
A day at work early.
Okay, brothers, come on now.
In the morning, followed
Back
by
it
a
up
stranger
again.
into her building.
Shade Better-in-Law.
And I'm Bill Ritter. We're going to begin with a
Listen.
terrifying video from the Bronx. A woman arriving home from a day at work early in the morning, followed by a stranger into her building. She gets inside and slams the door just in time.
It happened about 2 weeks ago in the Concourse Village section of the Bronx. The NYPD trying to find this guy.
Eyewitness News reporter Naveen Dhaliwal speaking exclusively with the victim today. Naveen is live at the scene for us. Naveen.
Yeah, Bill, this video is creepy for anyone coming home, whether it's day or night. But this woman tells me that she knew something was up as she approached her building at 2 in the morning. She saw the guy from the corner of her eye, but she was not expecting him to come into the building and then try to barge into her apartment. The video is terrifying. It was just a matter of seconds.
He was literally like 1 second from going inside.
Today, this brave woman, still shaking, finding the courage to speak out about that day as she arrived home from work around 2 in the morning.
There was two guys like outside, right? And they were just like looking suspicious.
You see her walking into the building, cautiously eyeing a man on the side. Seconds later, that same man in the white tank top walks into the Sherman Avenue building behind her. She knew he was up to no good.
He followed me inside the building and he said miss twice.
She describes the horrifying moment seen in this video as the suspect accesses the lobby. Seconds later, the woman knew he was around the corner and she quickly tried to open her apartment lock. Her instincts spot on. He came right after her, determined to get inside.
Papi, open up the door, bro. I came inside and then right away I just screamed, somebody's following me. Like he was literally 1 second from coming inside.
As she watches this video, she knows she was very lucky.
I feel very scared. Like I was saying, what if I had the top door locked? What if, like, it was literally just 1 second. If I had the top lock, he could have got of me.
Y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Because I know about you got several locks on your door. Mm-hmm. That day she just had one and she was able to get in there quick. Mm-hmm. But what I wanted people to realize is that back it up to the part where she entered into the building and what they said about it. Because this goes into what I was talking about with the sisters not paying attention.
Right.
Yeah, no, right there. There you go. Listen, when she got off first, hold it, stop. She got off of work at 12, so it's about 2 o'clock in the morning, right? What did it say, about 2 in the morning?
Yes, sir.
So she got off, she had to take the train, it'll take you a little while to get home, wherever she work at. Mm-hmm. So she's home, Negroes is out on the block, just hanging out. Now, I can go into a whole nother area, a whole nother field of what's going on. Right. I know about it. I know how they deal and all that. So they're out there. And that's a whole nother. And I'm going to speak about that since I'm talking about fear. I'm going to bring that part up after this here. So play the part.
I'm going inside.
Today, this brave woman, still shaking, finding the courage to speak out about that day as she arrived home from work around 2 in the morning.
There was two guys like outside, right?
Pause
and
it. She said so she's aware of her surroundings. Mm-hmm. She said there's two guys that's just hanging out outside. You know your block. You know when things don't look right.
Right.
Go ahead.
We're just like looking suspicious.
Looking suspicious. Wait a minute. If you got your headset on, you ain't paying attention to none of that.
Mm-hmm. And your phone.
You're on your phone just walking into walls, not paying attention. The dude, like we were saying earlier, the guy that was filming her could have been this dude. Right. Mm-hmm. He's looking at her. She ain't paying attention. Soon as she do this and soon as she open up that, because the door's downstairs, usually you got to have a pass to get in it. They did that to a lot of buildings. Sometimes these dudes break the damn door. So they ain't even got them no more. No intercom, no nothing. They just bust all that in. Mm-hmm. So, but they wait, and they call it like pushing robberies, pushing rapes, that kind of thing. So that's what they looking to do. Once you open your door, then they're coming right behind you and rape you and rob you and all the rest of it. Mm-hmm. So she's paying attention. She said outside they were just not they were just like looking. Go ahead, play on.
building, cautiously eyeing a man on the side. Seconds later, that same man in the white tank top walks into the Sherman Avenue building behind her.
So you gotta have your senses going on. She got to feel like somebody just entered the building behind me. But you got your headphones on. You can't play. You busy yap, ain't paying attention. You end up a damn rape victim, or a murder victim.
Right.
Go ahead.
He was up to no good.
He followed me inside the building and he said miss twice.
She describes the horrifying moment seen in this video as the suspect accesses
can't tell.
the
Is
lobby.
that something in his hand?
Yeah, that's what something in his hand. I don't know what it is.
It could be a little knife. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I saw it too. Look at that. Could have been anything.
And he tried to, you see, first thing he did was kick his foot out to try to jam the door.
Right,
and
right.
keep her from closing the door.
Right.
Damn.
Wow.
And you see how fast he was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Keep on being asleep.
Seconds
sisters.
later,
Go ahead.
the woman knew he was around the corner, and she quickly tried to open her apartment lock. Her instincts spot on.
Hey, yo, Mitch.
He came right after her, determined to get inside.
She had to know, hold it, you got to think about it. She was so prepared. She had to know how to swing and all in one motion, lock the door at the same time.
Had a key ready.
Had a key ready. That's the kind of readiness you have to have out here. Because if you're thinking that you're in the la-la and the tulips, you ain't going to be thinking like this. We're not in those times, sisters. We're not in those times, brothers. Wake the hell up. Okay, here you got a guy filming a woman walking in the mall, and everybody's laughing about the video, but in reality, for someone to actually film you getting ready to walk into a wall, just imagine if he was some kind of pervert or something.
Right.
And the next thing you know, he's following you home. You're not even aware of it. He'll follow you all the way to your damn door before you even realize that you got somebody behind you. Next thing you know, he's in the house raping you.
he just recorded his next victim.
He just recorded his next victim.
And you can see that she wasn't lollygagging as she made her way to the door.
No.
She got there in a hurry.
Right.
Because he came right behind her.
Yeah.
So she probably had a little slight jog as she was going to the door.
Yeah, she said she was looking at him, eyeing him as she came into the building. She was looking at him the whole way.
She knew. So this is crazy, but this is the reality. That's New York for you. But hey, don't be fooled. That ain't just New York. North Carolina is just as crazy as any damn place. They got craziness down here. Y'all ain't fooling me. Y'all just crazy as hell. So let's go to my Willie Lynch. Let me just shift gears just a little bit, because I'm gonna deal with this fear thing. You know what? Wait. Let's go back to let me just explain what I'm about to say in this. Go back to Isaiah 14 and the 3rd verse. There's something I want to bring out, and then I'm going to go to the Willie Lynch. Because these are some of the things that we might not really be thinking about. And I'm going to give you a little bit of city scenario. A little bit of some city scenario. Some New York City talk. Read it. 3rd verse.
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear.
That's the part I want. And from thy fear. Give me, from that fear, give me Deuteronomy 28 and 65. I'm dealing with the fear now. Deuteronomy 28, 65.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 65. And among these nations shall thou find no ease.
And among these nations shall thou find no ease. Meaning, shall you find no ease. Come on.
Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest.
Neither shall the sole of our feet have rest. We always going to be on edge. Go ahead.
But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart.
Our lives are in danger all the time. We got to live like that. We got to live like that. I know that's not what we want to hear, but you got to be on guard now. You got to live like that, on the edge.
Right.
You know, what it say there? Read that.
But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart.
Because of our disobedience, this is the kind of world we ended up in. Like that sister coming home, and she got to run from the dudes like this here, getting into her house. Just think about it. The door is her buffer between peace and chaos.
Right.
Just think about that. A 2-inch door. It's the difference between safety and absolute rape, robbery, murder, and who wants to live like that?
Right.
But that's how we live now. Especially, like I said, the New York. That's what I know about. I know down here they got it too. You gotta have your stuff together down here. So, but that's the situation. But I want to address the fear thing. Like I said, I'm gonna give you a little bit of New York City talk. When I look at this same situation, and I don't really know the particulars of what happened here on the video, but in cases like this here, you'll have a situation where the guy on the block is selling dope. He got his thing going on. And when the dope comes into the neighborhood, either you got you have you even have law enforcement. It's not really out there like that. But if we remember, there was I'm trying to remember, I think it was in the 80s or the 90s. You had the 7-5 precinct in Brooklyn that was dealing dope, straight up dope. They were doing escorts for cocaine to be brought into Brooklyn. That was the 75th precinct is in the Brooklyn area. To bring it in, they was actually having escorts to bring it in. Michael Dowd, look him up. Michael Dowd, D-O-W-D. He was a New York City police officer that was corrupt. Him and his whole crew. They were making money with the dope, so they were making sure that the dope gets there. That's how they were making their money. So now I'm gonna tie it into this here. So you got the drugs coming into New York City. When the drugs come into New York City, it comes in larger lumps, comes in with a good size, right? Yeah. The regular dude on the block, like the guys that look like the person hanging out waiting for the sister to come home, they'll be on the street. Can you dig it? Now, they got little quantities on them, but that big satchel that was brought into the community, they ain't got that downstairs. So they have to give that to what they would call a holder. They probably got some new terminology for it now, but they used to call them holders. In other words, families that are unsuspecting, listen to me now, that are unsuspecting, they go to work every day. They got jobs and all of that. So the police won't necessarily not suspect them, but they got children that go to school. You get it? So when the kids go to school, the deal is on the corner. The rough dude say, "Yo, come here, man. Come here. I know your pops work hard, your moms work hard and all that, but we need some place still." They probably won't tell him that, but they'll be like, they'll threaten him. And then they might catch the moms later, catch the pops later. Yo, your son is a nice boy. He's going to school and he wants to grow up to be such and such, but if you don't do this favor for us, you might not see him again. Right. And there might be some threats like that go down. So they say, in order for us to guarantee his safety, you need to hold this for us. The cops ain't really looking for you. They're looking for niggas like me, but they ain't looking for people like you. Right. So we need you to be a holder. And you just hold the dope for us. Yep. And then when you hold the dope for us, we'll take little bits of it. And, the boys, some of the dudes, like there's little young dudes here. Right. They'll have little quantities of it while they're downstairs. You dig it? Then the cops come riding through. They got to get rid of it. They're like, "Yo, come here. I want to shake you down." The cops might shake them down. So they have to get rid of it. Guess where they hide some of the dope at? In the wheel well of a car, hiding it underneath in the mirrors. They're stashing in the areas like that, and then they walk away from it and say, "I ain't got nothing." And meanwhile, the little bit that they were selling is actually in a wheel well, is in a crack of a door or under a fender or something like that. They'll do that. Understand? That's so you'll get a situation like this here where it'll be you know what, we need some more dope. And if somehow the dope ain't right, they'll try to get into the apartment. You understand? So stuff like that. That's the dope game. So I'll just leave it there. Okay? I'll leave it there. I've seen it. There ain't nobody can't tell me a damn thing because I've seen the ish go down. I know what it is. So I'm going to leave it there. Go ahead.
Bishop, also, I remember you touched on the part, I think you said cops bringing it into the neighborhood,
yeah.
right? Right. I remember.
Well, the reason why I said the cops is because I know a lot of people, what might be iffy about that. So if you got any doubt, just look up the documentary. It's a Netflix film. It's probably, I don't know where it's at now, but it was on Netflix, called The 75 or the 75th Precinct. Just look up Michael Dowd. Just look him up, and then the whole case will come up.
Right, and another, when I was younger growing up, there was a documentary, hip-hop documentary about Larry Davis. You ever heard of him?
Right.
Larry,
I was in New York when that went down.
Larry Davis, pretty much the cops came to him. He was a young man, 16, 17, something like that. Cops came to him with drugs, you know what I mean?
There you go.
And had him distribute that thing
Yep.
for him.
Yep.
And when he was ready to give up, he didn't want to do it no more.
Nope.
They said, no, nigga.
Yep.
You can't do that. You ain't gonna mess up our money. They was ready to kill him. They bust into his apartment where his family lived at.
Shootout and all that.
Yeah, mad bullets all over the place.
Yep.
This man was running for his life for like a week. It was all over the news.
Yep.
And then finally he called the FBI or something like that to safely be able to get himself turned in. So don't think that these cops not doing that. They doing that thing.
Right.
How do you think these high quantities is getting into our neighborhood?
There you go.
So yeah, there's a lot of documentaries out there.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. All praise to the Lord. So now let's play the video again with the sister running into her apartment. Because that's what this could have been. Even though they didn't say it in the video, and I'm not going to put that on them.
Right.
But the exact same situation would roll just like this here. And they'd be like, she's the daughter of the holder.
And Bishop, I had to say this because
that's what. Don't lose your point because I want to make sure that they understand what I'm saying. The dudes could have been the dealers on the block,
right?
And they said this is a girl that belonged to the family member that's holding our dope.
Right.
Because I was listening to me like, yo, Poppy messing like he knew her.
Right. Talking about
miss.
Right.
But I mean, they Negroes, they'll try, they'll say anything, but I couldn't completely rule that out. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say this is a perfect reason why sisters and brothers, when you step out your car, have your keys ready. A lot of times, I had to correct my wife on that thing. One time she came on, I'm hearing ringing the doorbell. I'm like, hold on, ring the door. Where your keys at? Oh, I was in my purse. In your purse? Oh, no, it's dark outside. Hey, when you get out the car, have your keys ready. When you walk to that, you open that door. Don't be having your hands full. Like, this is a perfect reason why. What if her hands was full?
Right.
Had a child in her hand.
Had a child in her hand.
Yep.
You trying to bounce off.
Yeah. Or you got groceries in your hand.
You got groceries in your hand.
All that.
Come, like you said, Bishop, be aware. Be aware of your surroundings.
Now, I imagine people don't like this kind of talk. They're like, damn, they want me to just live in fear. They want me to just, I want to feel like I'm free. I don't want to feel like I got to be on edge all the time. I don't want to feel like that. But you do that, and you're going to end up getting taken out.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So, hey, that's all. All I can do is tell you. You can take it any way you want. You better watch yourselves out here. That's all I'm going to say.
Right.
I pray for you, but, you know the deal.
Bishop, we do got. I'm sorry, Kevin.
No. I was going to say Bishop on point because a lot of times, we got wives, and we see things, we aware of things, and we'll come and we start expressing ourselves in a certain way. They may be wondering, what's wrong with you? Why are you talking like this?
Right.
Why are you on guard like this? Because you already see something that you know that could possibly happen to one of your loved ones or family members, or your next door neighbor. You got to make them aware of these things, you know.
Cap, I was going to say this is this is what they don't like, because you know what this is? This is leadership.
That's all it is.
You're showing leadership. They want us to stay as that 3/5 of a man, not worried about nothing, pants hanging off your butt, selling drugs. But no, we are actually out here trying to protect our communities, and it starts off by these type of shows, showing you sisters, showing you brothers how you must conduct yourself. This is called leadership. Otherwise, you got chaos. You see what's out there in the streets.
Right. When I was working in the hospital, because I see somebody say why she's getting off so late, we had a policy among us that if any of them required an escort, we actually drive. We had an arm, I'm going too deep in my job, but we had the R&P vehicle. We would drive them to where they can get safely on the bus, because the nurses would get off late at night and all that. So we understood.
Right.
We understood. So. But go ahead, man. That's too much stuff.
It's good stuff, though, Bishop.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, was you about to play a video, Bishop?
Well, I think I was going to make the point about what we saw earlier, but we saw the video already. But I wanted to make the I already explained it, so we're done with that. We're done with that. But so now I want to talk about the fear from a different perspective, because we live in this. What we just witnessed on the video correlates with what we read in Deuteronomy. Go back to that Deuteronomy again. Let's read that. Let's get that clear, and then I can get back to what we are reading here in Isaiah.
Yes, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 65. And among these nations shall thy find no ease, neither should the sole of thy foot have rest.
This is how we live, because we broke the laws of God. Come on.
But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart.
That's what I needed. The trembling heart. That's how that sister feels. She's on the inside of her door shaking.
Right.
Because she could have, who knows what her fate would have been. Right. Here you see, I remember we was looking at some video, this about maybe a year ago. I think we were still in Concord. And there was a video that I had brought in about a van that was equipped to abduct people. Yeah, right. And they were doing it. It was soundproof and all of that. And they said, well, let's see how this thing really worked. So there was a woman they said, well, we're going to test it out. The woman was in the van screaming and going on, and nobody outside heard nothing. Her friends were outside. They didn't hear nothing. They said, wow, that is creepy and scary.
Hey, Bishop, every white van my daughter see, she watches.
Yeah.
Because what you brought in, all praise. That thing, every white van she see on the street, she watching that thing.
All praise.
They go white van.
There you go. You got to teach them that way. That ain't paranoid. That's keeping their ass out of trouble.
All praise. All praise.
You know? Here you are in the parking lot. You park your damn car, and the next thing you know, your little skimpy woman go shopping and all that. She come back, and there's a van parked next to her car.
Right.
And she ain't paying attention because she's on her phone.
Right.
Next thing you know, her ass, the van leaving the car sitting there because her behind is in it.
Right.
Quiet as hell.
Right.
You know. So these are the traumas and the situations that not only that the men go through, but our women go through these things too. So it ain't just us, sisters. All of us got to watch our back, because we're in the land of our enemies. Just remember that. We are in the land of our enemies. Okay? Now, turning back to about our enemies, how did they set all of this up? Okay? Read that Isaiah again, that Isaiah 14 and 3. We're dealing with the fear part now.
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve.
And from the hard bondage wherein we was made to serve. So he was going to redeem us from our sorrow, from our fear, and from the hard bondage. We're going to deal with the hard bondage next week, Lord willing. But let's deal with the fear now. What was the fear that was put upon us? Let's go to the Willie Lynch. Read that in the middle part there when it comes. Now, you know, here you got these words, because this is the Willie Lynch letter. This is page 15, so I'm just going right to the point. And this is talking about how they broke us. Why? Because we broke the laws of the Most High. And this is what we were subjected to. You know what? A lot of times, I'm not even going to even address some of the foolish statements of people saying that the Willie Lynch letter is not real and it's made up. I'm not even going to address that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because let me just, for argument's sake, let's say it is made up. But if it's made up, how is it that we literally live like this here?
It's manifested.
It's manifested in what we actually see.
Right.
Don't tell me that we lived it and fulfilled what was in a book just for the sake of fulfilling it. We fit this in history.
Right.
So our people, that person these people, the persons that's spreading that foolishness might as well be like that woman walking in the mall, not even paying attention to her surroundings.
Right.
You know. Go ahead. This is page 15 of Let's Make a Slave, the Willie Lynch letter.
Yes,
Read
sir.
it.
When it comes to breaking the uncivilized nigger,
that's what they call us.
Use the same process,
Go ahead.
but vary the degree and step up the pressure so as to do a complete reversal of the mind.
So their objective was to reverse our minds. They got our men thinking that they're women, got our women thinking they're, here goes somebody. Oh, that ain't real. Here's the stupidity. they'll say that what we're reading in this book is BS, it's false, it's this and that and the other. Will you read that thing again about the mind, please?
And all people the first one to say that ain't real.
Yeah, but I'm going to prove that they stupid and dumb as hell. They might as well be like that woman that walked into the damn wall.
Hey, Bishop, when we get a chance, I got a video that proves that it's real. When you get a,
okay,
when you get a
yeah,
chance.
we get it.
And they say it's not real, but then they watching the Passion of Christ crying and
exactly.
Booing. Come on.
Read that. I'm going to prove. We're going to prove right now. Read that statement that you just read.
Yes, sir. But vary the degree and step up the pressure so as to do a complete reversal.
That's the part that I want right there. So as to do a complete reversal of what?
Of the mind.
Here's the proof. The way that you can demonstrate this with absolute perfect illustrations is when a man got a full man body and he's talking about he's a woman. That is a complete reversal of the mind. He went 100%. He went 180 degrees opposite.
Right.
100%. And then you got the man, you got the woman that's acting like she's a man. They did that to us in slavery.
Right.
So what are you talking about? So they literally did a complete reversal. Here's a man talking about he's a Fruit Loops with a damn dress on, and the damn woman got combat boots ready to kick man's ass.
That's what I was
And you talking about some this ain't real.
Right.
Lord have mercy.
All the women want to be leaders now.
Yes.
Right.
And the men want to tuck. They want to tuck behind her.
Woman king.
You lead.
Woman king.
Yeah, woman king.
Lord have mercy. Read on.
Yes, sir. Take the meanest and most restless nigger, strip him of his clothes in front of the remaining male niggers.
Stop. This is what they did to Nick Cannon.
This
is what they did to what's the other guy? Sean Jackson. And this is what they're trying to do to Kanye.
Right.
They said we're gonna take because they're defiant. They're gonna come out. They're gonna speak truth. They're gonna take. We taught the niggas that this is how they thinking. This is how white folks thinking. We taught them that they were good old Baptist Christian niggas, and that we promulgated these white people as Jews, and we made that to be the norm of all society. Now here comes Deshaun Jackson. Here comes Nick Cannon. Here comes Kanye. They're gonna speak in opposition to that. They say, "Oh man, this dude is uppity,
uncivilized.
He's uncivilized. He's the restless, and he's the baddest of all of them. He's resistant. This is what we're reading.
What's the name of that disease they said that we had?
Yeah, drapetomania.
That's what they said.
Yeah, they said this dude is out of here. He's sick. So they said we got to make an example out of him, and they basically castrated. They spiritually castrated the first two. They working on Kanye. They working on him.
He being rebellious.
He being rebellious. They said, "Don't worry, we gonna get him." That's how they think. That's how they think. I'm just saying these things. You know, read that again.
Yes,
Take
sir.
the meanest.
Take the meanest and most restless nigger. Strip him of his clothes in front of the remaining niggers.
That's what they do. Make you sound like you crazy.
Right.
Make you sound like you're a racist. All of these things. They said we're gonna make an example. So what they talking about? It ain't real. This is exactly what they.
See?
And I mean, if you really think about, if I took the time and really thought about all of the men in history where they did that, like your strong. Let me see. Let me look at an actor because they wanted to do Dave Chappelle like that. Here's
Right.
another example.
Right.
He comes in. He comes into his trailer and he look around and said, "I must be in the wrong trailer because there's a dressing here."
Yeah.
And he didn't want to do it. And so they really wanted to get him in it. And he said, "What the hell is this, Brokeback Mountain or something?" So he was like, what is all this push? They were pushing on him because they were saying you're being uppity.
Right.
Then they say he was crazy.
All the greats done it.
All the greats. He said all the greats. Well, how they say all the greats have done it, Dave.
Right.
All the greats have done it.
Right.
Because they said we got Wesley Snipes. They
Eddie
got
Murphy.
him. They got Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Mark Lawrence.
They're talking about something. This is fake. No, nigga, you fake.
Right.
Read that again.
Take the meanest and most restless nigger. Strip him of his clothes in front of the remaining.
Damn, somebody said Kanye apologized for his statement. Oh, Lord have mercy. They got him. I don't know yet. I'll wait for it to come out. But I believe it. The sister put it here, so I'm pretty inclined to believe that thing because I know how they do. Because here's the thing that we got to remember. This is another thing, too. They said take the read that again. I'm gonna get all my thoughts together.
Yes, sir.
Take the what?
Take the meanest and most restless nigger.
So they're saying take the one out of 1,000 of them. Take the meanest one, separate him from his people, and roast him.
Right.
That's because you got no nation behind you.
Right.
You got no people. You got no gang with you, so to
Nobody
speak.
backing
You got no peoples.
Right.
That's the reason why he blasted them other rappers. He was like, y'all are, he called them by name and blasted the hell out of them.
Right.
He said, where the hell are y'all at? They basically, oh, damn, I know what I need. Oh, y'all the way we did it.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I gotta do it.
Bring it up.
I gotta do it.
But just like what you're saying,
I gotta do it.
Strip him of his clothes. So what is
I'm gonna show you how they did him. I'm gonna show you how they did it. I'm gonna show you how they did it. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, while you looking that up, strip him of his clothes.
Yeah.
Take his money.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. Yep. Take his voice.
Right.
Okay.
Remove him from what you said, Chase Bank.
Yeah. Take that from him. Okay. Take his connections away from that. They don't even like you said, his backing.
Mm-hmm.
Strip him of his clothes, his support. Okay. They just blatantly again try to take everything from him. Okay. That he has no type of power, no type of manhood, like we just said, take him back being a man. Take that from him.
Right.
Okay.
Hey,
go ahead.
Real quick, can y'all get the first video I posted? The first,
go ahead. Play your video.
The first video I posted. So right here, this is a video of a sister, and this is going to the fact of what we just said. How they say that book is not true.
Mm-hmm.
This is an interview with her sister. I don't know her name, but this is an interview with her, and she's talking about how she, as a woman, does not want to be a leader. For her to have that interview, which means the world is in the opposite. Why would they have this video if this didn't have no merit?
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
This video didn't have no merit. Why would they be having this interview? Meaning that the women nowadays, they want to be the leaders. They want to be in the role. That's how you know that Willie Lynch, it came to pass.
It come to pass. You're right.
So play the video real quick.
It's a good point, officer.
Do you think that women should carry leadership positions?
No.
Why not?
The answer is not why not. The answer is why would they?
Yeah.
Don't say why not. What is one benefit of women being in leadership positions? There's no benefit.
But women are advocating for equal.
No. Not all women.
Well,
not
a lot
all
of women are advocating for equal, right?
Women who are not smart are advocating for equal.
Why you say
Smart women are not doing that. Because women, and this is why we can't be trusted, honestly. Because
women can't be trusted?
Women cannot be trusted. We need rules. We need guidelines. We need a procedure. Don't just give us space. Talking about
this is what we provide with the
They
Bible.
need leaders.
They need leaders. They need guidelines. They need rules. As the men as well, because we have completely lost our minds.
Mm-hmm.
So the men need it as well. But she knows something that a lot of these women nowadays do not know. You need the male as a leader in your household, in your community nowadays. Go ahead, finish it out.
Come on, go be the leader. That's probably the worst thing you could do.
But my point is, because I don't want to hold Bishop, but my point is that some people are saying that the Willie Lynch letter is not true. She's having a interview going against that. You're making a whole different. So in society, they're teaching the women to be leaders. So that Willie Lynch letter is very true.
Exactly.
That's the point that I'm trying to make.
Yes, sir. You made it. That's right on point. Now, here we go. Hey, brother's laughing already. Hey, go back to before you play this. Go back to that Willie Lynch thing. Read that again.
Yes, sir.
Because Negroes will fulfill this today. Negroes will fulfill what the white man did to us years ago.
Right.
Talking about, here they go. That ain't real. We're going to find out if it's real or not. Y'all going to all recognize what I'm about to show you. Brothers laughing already. Y'all ain't right. Go ahead. Play the thing, man.
Take the meanest and most restless nigger. Strip him of his clothes in front of the remaining male niggers, the female, and the nigger infant. Tar and feather him.
Okay, stop right there. Tar and feather him. Now I got to go to the video because we're going to read the rest of this. But let's go to the videotape. Got the disclaimer. Let it ride. A lot of y'all don't know what y'all looking at because this is an old movie, but it's one of my favorite movies. It was actually directed by a so-called white man, a Jew, so-called Jew. Yes, Norman Jewison, I think his name was. So-called white man directed this, which shows you that they know the psychology of black folks.
Right.
Shows you that they study us.
They created it.
They created the mindset of the Negro
and put it right in your face.
Put it right in your face.
Yep.
So hit it. Listen to. Show them what it is. Go ahead, hit the button.
guitar picking, sitting around the shack music today, CJ? I want all you men out of those baseball uniforms and in the work clothes.
Now, y'all saw the, hold it. Y'all saw, because I'm going to let it play. I know I'll be interrupting it a lot. But I want y'all to pick up the nuances of what you're looking at. When he walked in, he said, knock it off. Mm-hmm. We don't need any more of that sitting around the shack, guitar, banjo playing Negro music. Mm-hmm. And CJ, which is the man, the country dude, the fear got in his face. Right. Because he's like, this is massa. Right. Because that's how he's acting. That's how this brother is acting. Okay? Go ahead. Play on.
Sitting around the shack music today, CJ.
Taskmaster.
Yeah,
I want all you men out of those baseball uniforms and in the work clothes. You report to me at $1,600. We got a work detail. Paid in the lobby of the Officers Club.
Why can't those officers paint their own club?
He done spoke up.
No, Smalls. Let the great colored cleanup company do it. Our motto is anything you don't want to do, the colored troops will do for you.
So now you got hey, you got rebellion. You got slaves rebellion. Right. Yeah. The white man is inside the Negro's brain. He said, I got to shut this damn thing down now. Yeah. Who learned you, Mim? Right. Go ahead.
You always got that group.
You always got that group. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah. Y'all don't even know where I'm going. Hit it.
Anything you don't want to do, the colored troops will do for you. Anything you don't want to do, the colored troops will do for you. Anything you don't want to do, the colored troops will do for you.
Let me tell all you fancy-ass ball-playing Negroes something. The reasons for any orders given by a superior officer...
The white man?
...is none of y'all's business. You obey them. This country is at war. And you niggas are soldiers.
Damn.
Nothing else.
Damn.
And something else. From now on, when I tell you to do something, I want it done. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now get out of those baseball uniforms. I could smell you suckers before I hit the door.
Pause it. So basically, let's put this in the context of what's going on in the media. All of the rappers are them. Mm-hmm. All those brothers. Those are the rappers that's the killer gangster, all that. Mm-hmm. Right. But when the white man walked in, because the brother brought it out last week. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, like him. He made the point, he said that with all that gangster bullshit, they ain't said a damn thing about doing anything against these so-called Jews. Right. They can't speak, they can't even break breath to even mention that. Mm-hmm. So that's that whole group there. Mm-hmm. Keep on playing.
What kind of colored man are you?
I'm a soldier, Peterson.
Hold it. Y'all turn it up. Y'all got it weak because it was louder than that before.
Run it back.
Yeah, no, that's it.
I want it done.
Turn it up.
Is that clear?
Good.
Yes, sir.
Now get out of those baseball uniforms. I could smell you suckers before I hit the door.
Damn.
Hey, what kind of colored man are you?
What the hell? Kanye.
I'm a soldier, Peterson. And the kind of colored man that don't like lazy, shiftless Negroes.
Well, sir, you ain't got to come in here calling us names.
Now hold it. Notice he's speaking up for everybody. Mm-hmm. You ain't got to come in here calling us names. Go ahead.
The Nazis called you Schwarzer. You gonna complain to Hitler they hurt your little feelings?
It don't look like
CJ tried to stand up. CJ tried to stand up. CJ said, "Wait a minute, he's trying to help us out, so I got to do a little something." Go ahead.
Too much to them nasty with paintbrushes, sir.
You trying to mock me, CJ?
No, sir, Sarge.
Good. Because whatever an ignorant, low-class geechee like you has to say ain't worth paying attention to. Is it? Is it?
I reckon not, Sarge.
Damn, made him say it.
Sit down.
You a creep, Waters. Sarge, just joking, Pete. He don't mean no harm.
No, he does. I mean, we're taking her from them white boys.
Yes, you do. And if it wasn't for you southern niggas, white folks wouldn't think we was all fools.
Here you go.
Well, where you from? England?
Oh, shit. Kanye.
Oh, boy.
Down. hold it. Stop.
Dang.
Did y'all see how they all just got up? Now you by yourself. All of your people said, listen, you done stepped on the white man's toes and you on your own. I ain't got nothing to do with it.
I got a family to feed.
I got a family to feed.
Yeah.
Damn.
Look at CJ. Just
See,
look how
they
he's
all
looking at him like,
they're
nigga,
like,
you just messed up.
You on your own right
Yeah.
now, doggone it. Damn. Did you see how they just the damn sea departed?
Move
They
right
all
over.
just moved him out the way and just left him by himself. Go ahead, watch this here.
Looks like we got us a wise-ass Alabama boy here.
Now hold. Look like we got us a wise Alabama here, Ballad boy here. Like we got us an uppity nigga.
Right.
And you notice the dude over there, what's his name? Wookie.
Yeah,
Wookie
cross
Foley
his
said,
arm.
yeah. Hey,
cross his arm.
You gotta look at all. The white man directed this shit.
Yeah.
He knew. That's Negroes today. Baptism.
Yeah.
That's that fear that we're talking about. And I'm gonna read it out of this document. Back it up just a little bit.
He felt the power
He
shift
felt
too.
the power. He felt it all. Just this. Now they all got it. Yeah, you got to get the whole.
Yeah,
you
come
got to
on
get the
back a
whole
little bit
seat.
more.
There you go.
Bishop,
Right
you
there.
got to point that out about the other. But I didn't even catch that
You ain't
last
catch
time.
it.
Yes,
Just
it-
watch it.
With his hands, man.
No, he didn't. That's what he said.
Damn.
Niggas, white folks wouldn't think we was all fools.
Well, where you from? England?
Look at this.
Okay.
Watch it. Watch Wookie.
Looks like we got us a wise-ass Alabama boy here.
Damn.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, that was the
you
point.
get-
That was the point. That's it. That's all I needed. You know.
That's
that was
it. That's a
so
good illustration, bitch.
He is the restless. Go back to the book.
So Bishop, so we about to read when it says in front of the remaining males. So he
Yes.
said some of them male niggas was actually scolding. They had their arms crossed.
There you go.
You
Back
messed
to the,
up.
Hey, go ahead. And black people that's watching this, Hispanic people, all of us, we know that that's the mind state of our people. We know that. We're actually seeing it happening right now.
Right.
Read that again. Take the meanest.
Yes, sir. Take the meanest and most restless nigger. Strip him of his clothes in front of the remaining male niggers.
Pause it. Go back to the film again. I should have played the rest of it. This is what you mean by the meanest and most restless, right? Just hit play.
Get smart, nigga.
Get your fucking hands off me.
Stop. That's what you call restless. That's how they mean us. We got to tar and feather you, because that's exactly what happened after this scene. He said, I'm going to take you outside. I'm going to whip your, he said, I'm going to whip your black southern ass in front of the whole, make the whole company watch too.
You was Bishop. You was known to act up in front of Esau for a couple of times. They'll let you do it. Let him do it. Let him do it. So the people think he might build up some type of momentum. Next thing you know, they tar and feather in his ass.
Yeah.
What they doing to him?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
All right.
Debbie look like he got it. That's what he deserved.
Right. Now read the rest of this here.
Take the meanest and most restless nigger. Strip him of his clothes in front of the remaining male niggers. The female, and the nigger infant. Tar and feather him.
That's what they did to Kunta Kinte. Same thing. Go ahead.
Tie each leg to a different horse in opposite directions. Set him afire and beat both horses to pull him apart in front of the remaining niggers.
Do you know what kind of torture that is? They tar and feather him, set him on fire, and tie both his legs to opposite horses and pull him apart and rip him to pieces in front of everybody. This one white man did this with all them slaves there. Damn, all them so-called slaves. Go ahead. That's what that Bible meant when it said about us being in fear. Read it. Go ahead.
The next step is to take a bullwhip and beat the remaining nigger male to the point of death in front of the female and the infant. Don't kill him.
Don't kill him. This is where they want us to be. They don't want us dead physically. They want us dead in terms of us being a man. They want us to continue to dribble their basketballs.
Right.
They want us to continue to throw the football.
Right.
They want us to continue with the basketball and the baseball and the singing. Lord, they can sing. They want that.
They love it.
They love that. You know, entertain me, nigga. Dance, boogie, shake it.
Do all that. Just don't be a leader.
Just don't be a leader. Go ahead.
Don't kill him, but put the fear of God in him.
But put the fear of God in him. The God that is talking about is the white man.
Right.
Put the fear of the white man in him.
That's back in Deuteronomy.
And that's Deuteronomy. And that's in Isaiah. Let's go back to those. That was a part that I want.
But this is
fake. For he can be useful for future breeding. Now they don't want us to breed at all. Now they're trying to kill us off because now like one so-called white, well, he is a white supremacist, but he ain't white. He's red as hell. KKK member gets up on one of the talk shows years ago, and he says that black people are obsolete farm machinery. Yes, obsolete because, in other words, they got technology now, so we don't need you niggas.
Right.
So now you're expendable.
Now, Bishop, can I bring something just right quick?
Absolutely.
So again, you talking about throwing the football, the basketball, and it's a lot of these entertaining the rappers, singers, dancers. Well, we can go across the board with it all. Okay, so this video, y'all got it? I just sent it to you about a few seconds ago. Okay, this Jalen Rose, that what you just said, Bishop, just to prove exactly what you just said. Okay. Play that.
He's a basketball player, right?
Right, he's a basketball player, exactly. Okay. So why predominantly black sports can't go straight to the league? But again, let's play it. Let's see. He makes a good
Predominantly
point.
black are the ones that once you get into them, the goal is for you to feed the system and help the system make as much money as possible before you profit. Basketball and football, predominantly black sports, are the main ones with restrictions after high school. For a while, they had dress code, had salary cap, couldn't smoke weed, had a length of contracts. Like in baseball, you can sign a 10-year deal. In hockey, you can sign a 9-year deal. Can't in basketball. In tennis, in golf, in NASCAR, you can turn pro after high school. Can't in basketball and football. They're going to force us, and this is a residue of slavery. The sports that are predominantly black.
That's all I want.
It makes me wonder because Arthur Ashe.
Oh yeah.
The
tennis player.
Yeah, the tennis player. I wonder if he bypassed this here because a lot of people didn't realize that he was a serious brother, and he knew the system was racist as hell. So he was. I did a little thing on him couple of years ago on this show.
Yeah, I remember that, Bishop.
So I think I'm going to bring him back up again at
Very
another time.
unique.
Yeah, it was very unique, brother. So, but yeah, that was some good points there. So let's see, with time running. Here's what I want to do. Give me Revelation 11 and 11. Revelation. We read 11 and 8, and I'm gonna jump to 11 because I'm gonna go into us coming out of this thing of fear and getting ourselves together. I want to kind of end it on try to end it on a uplifting note. But read that.
Revelations chapter 11 and verse 11. And after 3 days and a half,
after 350 years of our sojourn in America, come on,
the spirit of life from God entered into them.
Entered into the nation of Israel. Entered into the Israelites, the valley of the dry bones. Come on.
And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them.
And great fear fell upon them which saw them. And great fear fell upon them which saw them. As we were waking up, I just want to briefly run through this, and I really wanted to dedicate a good amount of time to this subject here. I didn't get a response from Deacon Laba, and I kind of want to go into this. I don't even know if he's coming. I don't want to speak on that. I'm putting him out there, but I wanted to really deal with this section of the class, what I'm about to go into now. When we in the 350 years is primarily coming into the 70s, the 1970s. Okay, during the 60s, that was our time of wake up. Could we put that picture up there? Okay, because I asked the question. Because it was a concerted effort to keep us asleep. Okay, and there's a spirit in man that questioned our reality, and we begin to wake up because the Spirit of the Lord came upon us in these times to wake up in these times here. Right. So this is where we at now. So what we're now is there an article that tells me a little bit about this? Show that picture first. Show that. These are the brothers that's coming out of the 60s. Okay, this is the Black Panther movement. Okay, let's see if there's any writing. Let's see, was there anything that I could read about them? I don't want to say, okay, policing the police. Just show that. This is why the brothers started. There was a movie that was put out by Mario Van Peebles, which is the son of Mario Van Peebles. Mario Van Peebles. Did I say his name? You got Melvin. Yeah, Melvin Van Peebles, which is the father, and then Mario was his son. That was the one that directed the movie Posse that I talked about not too long ago. He also did a film called Panther. I think everybody should see that film. Look for it and find it and watch it. So it illuminates what the title of this is: Policing the Police. How the Black Panthers got their start. So it wasn't a hate group and all that other bull crap. Let's see what it says in the article. Okay, because this was the time we were trying to wake up. What it says there, Austin and Sean.
Yes, sir. Nearly 50 years ago, in 1966, a group of 6 black men in Oakland, California, came together in an effort to curb police brutality against African Americans in the city.
That was why they came together. There's no hate group in this. They were trying to prevent us from dying at the hands of the police, because the police was on a rampage, just killing brothers. Right. Okay, go ahead.
Because of a quirk in California,
because of a quirk
in California law, the men were able to carry loaded weapons.
Now, it wasn't no damn quirk in the law. They knew the law so well, they knew that they were able to carry their shotguns, and then they end up changing that because they said, we don't need this. Go ahead.
The men were able to carry loaded weapons openly. Mm-hmm. The Black Panthers, as they became known, would follow the police around.
They were patrolling the police. Go ahead.
Jumping out of their cars with guns drawn if the police made a stop.
Made a stop to harass and maim brothers. Right. That's what they were doing. Right. So that's what their mission was. So you can see that the brothers was trying to do the right thing. That's the reason why I said it before and I'll say it again. You ain't never going to hear me speak evil about any of these brothers that was trying to do right. You're not going to hear me speak against them. Okay? Read on.
They would observe the police and make sure that no brutality occurred.
Because that was the problem. There was brutality going on. So they said, listen, you can do your job, but you ain't going to be beating up and killing and doing that kind of stuff over no damn traffic stop. Right. So that's what the point what that was about. Okay, so that was going on in the 60s. Brothers was trying to get their stuff together. You had a lot of the music that was coming out. James Brown, I'm Black and I'm Proud, because that from the 60s to the 70s, that's where a lot of the conscious music was coming out. So we had a wave of the afros and all that. We were trying to get ourselves together in that time. Now, give me my next clip. Come out of this. Thank you, brothers. Let's see what's going on the next piece. So this was during the 60s. Okay. Let's see what the next thing I got going on. Just bear with me, brothers and sisters. What's the next thing here? Okay. Is that the next one? The third. Hold on. Was that the next one? Was that the next one? Just hang on before we hit me. Damn, it looked like y'all didn't even get it all. Nope, not that one yet. Back up, just hang on. There was... Did you get the thing about the 30 now harrowing photos? Okay, let me send that one. Damn, it's on there. I'm looking at it's up there. Go to the Telegram, brothers.
Yeah, 33 harrowing photos.
Yes, go to the Telegram. Yeah, go down. Right there. Click that. Just stop wasting time. Click that.
Yeah, it's one of the first things.
Forget putting it in the folder. Play it. It's run out of time. Hit me.
That's not it.
That's it. Is it?
No, that's
crack
not
epidemics.
Oh.
Okay, it says the crack
that's
epidemics.
That's the one.
Yeah,
That's the one.
Okay.
So
he was on it.
Right, he was on. So this is what we're looking at here is that after the brothers was trying to wake us up, I'm black and I'm proud, get ourselves together. Then the drugs. No, that's what I'm missing. I'm missing the no, it's not the video. Just hang on. It's a maybe you didn't get it. I don't think I sent it. Wow. Just give me 1 second. Well, go ahead and let that play. I'll bring my partner. Let that play. I don't like the dead space. Let that play. Play it. Turn it up.
The number of Americans who said they regularly used cocaine reached 5.8 million people. At the time, that meant 1 in every 35 adults was hooked. And crack cocaine, which was made by cooking powder cocaine with baking soda and water, became especially popular. Not only was crack smokable, it was also cheap, readily available, and produced an intense high.
Okay.
But the fun didn't last for long.
Okay, pause it. I'm about to send it to you. This is the one I needed before that. Just bear with me, my brothers and sisters. Now you got it. Play this one. So after the 70s came this. After the 70s came this right here. You got it? Okay. Now the thumbnail says, let them see what it says here. You got this guy from the Turks channel. Nixon invented the war on drugs to attack black people. This was to bring down the Panthers. That's what was happening here. So this was to bring down, because this was in the 70s. I remember this. I remember his reign. Their whole objective was to destroy the black power movement. That's what Nixon was about. Now, let's play the deal. Start from the beginning, brothers.
So John Ehrlichman was one of the henchmen for Richard Nixon. I say henchman because he was one of the organizers of Watergate, and that was proven out. He got convicted and sent to prison for his role in the crimes of Watergate. Now, one of the things he got sent to prison for was conspiracy. Because Watergate was a conspiracy. They planned to break into the Democratic headquarters, steal information about them, basically undermine our democracy, right? Well, it turns out they hatched another conspiracy, which Ehrlichman bragged about back in 1994. He said it to a writer named Dan Baum, and for some reason it has sat in the dustbin of history until this moment. And Harper's Magazine, in this April edition, ran his original quotes from back in 94. Ehrlichman, now out of prison and out of politics, felt, I guess, that he had nothing to lose, so he was going to be honest about why they started the war on drugs. And if you remember, it was Nixon. The Nixon administration started what they called the war on drugs back in 1971.
Hold it. In the 70s, 1971, that's when Nixon was in power. And the point was you still had a lot of the residual black power, like, black and I'm proud and all that. All that was out during that time. We even said that. I remember when I was in the 5th grade, 4th grade, there was a thing. I remember in the public school, they said, "Don't call me nigger." We would say that we were Negroes, and when I turn to a nigger, I'll let you know. That's what we used to say back then because there was a consciousness about us no longer being niggas. We were really trying to stand up, and Negro was the word then. Right. But then, but go ahead. That's the point.
About why they started the war on drugs. And if you remember, it was Nixon. The Nixon administration started what they called the war on drugs back in 1971. Turns out it was not because they were concerned that drugs were really dangerous for Americans. It was for attacking their political enemies. Now, again, you might think, come on, this sounds conspiratorial. First of all, it's the guy who did the conspiracy who's admitting it. Second of all, he got arrested for and convicted on another conspiracy. It's not like he's shy about conspiracies. And Nixon, third of all, had an enemies list. These are all facts. So now here's Ehrlichman in his own words. He says, the Nixon campaign in 1968 and the Nixon White House after that had two enemies, the anti-war left and black people. You understand what I'm saying? We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or black, but by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. How do you see that and then not want to immediately end this nonsense political war on drugs? This prohibition that has proven to be disastrous in its effect. But it turns out it was done to be a war on black people and liberals, who they called hippies back then. Now, originally they were trying to use more of the legislation of heroin against blacks, but it turns out later they were like, oh, blacks smoke marijuana just like whites do. Okay, let's arrest them for that.
All right.
And they arrested them at 4 times the rate of whites, even though they smoke at the same rate.
Pause.
The whole
You heard that part? They arrested us 4 times the rate of white folks. Because this is going to tie into what I was about to say, which I'm glad the point came out, so now I can speak on it. So as you can see, it was political as to what the war on drugs was about. So like I said, you had the drugs that was being brought in for us to sell it, and then when we sell it, they corral us up and they come against us. It was all a setup. That's some heavy stuff right there. I mean, that's some real reality that's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I hear when I hear that? What we just when I watch this, what we just read in the Willie Lynch. Take the biggest restless, meaning he was going against the slave masters, so they had to take him and destroy him, tar, feather him, whatever the case may be. Same thing they did here. You had leaders rising up in the 60s to take back their communities, to stop police brutality. What they do? Now they put drugs in the community so they can sicken the community.
Right.
I'm hearing the same.
Men trying to be men.
Right. The same tactics. I'm hearing the same tactics.
Exactly. And it goes even further than that, because I didn't want to interrupt it, because the part where it says that, let's go back a few takes with the writing, because you said it's the same thing going on, but since you said that, I'm going to just bring it out there and get back to this here. Go back a little bit when you had the words up there. His words. Right there. He says, by getting the public to associate hippies with marijuana and also getting the public to associate blacks with heroin and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. That's what they're doing to us in this truth. They want to associate us reading the Bible with a hate group. It's the same shit. Right. It's the same stuff. They want to say that a hate group is heroin, and we blacks is Israelites or IUIC. They want to say that they want to manufacture an association with evil. So when they go after hate crimes, quote unquote, hate speech, all this shit that they made up, they want to quote unquote go after quote unquote hate speech. What's more, Columbus Day is hate speech to me.
Right.
You understand?
Yes.
Thanksgiving is hate speech to me. But no, Christmas is hate speech to me. But so we read in the Bible, they consider that hate speech. They say, well, we're going after hate speech, but we really want you. We don't really care about hate speech. We want you. So that's basically what this man, John Ehrlichman, he was the aide to Nixon. He was the aide to Nixon. It says, by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and also to associate blacks with heroin, then we could criminalize both, because their objective was never about getting rid of heroin. I proved that by them bringing the dope in. Their point was not about getting rid of marijuana. They wanted to get rid of what they call the hippies, because these were the guys that was rising. Let me explain the hippies, by the way. The hippies were the people that were against the Vietnam War at Kent State in the 1970s. All this happened during the 70s. In the 70s, you had a whole against Vietnam protests happening on college campuses, and Kent State particularly, where those 4 people got shot down by the military because they were protesting against the Vietnam War, against the people that was dying in Vietnam. And there was a white group that made a song based on that called 4 Dead in Ohio. That song was based on that event that happened at Kent State University. So there you go. So I'm going too far. There go again. I gotta be careful on my way out of here, right? But anyway, that's the deal. So the hippies were basically the people that was about stopping the Vietnam War. That's the reason why Dr. Martin Luther King was killed. And the bullet didn't kill him. They killed him in the hospital. That's the latest that I heard. Mm-hmm. They smothered him to make sure he was dead.
I got a video on that. Y'all want
Damn. So They wanted to get rid of any voice that was against the status quo.
Right.
And that's how they see us. That we're bringing out this Bible. They say they love this Bible. They say they're about the Bible. Here we are reading the Bible in its truth, and they want to associate us with hate crimes, hate speech, and all that BS. When black people face hate speech every day, the minute they open their doors and go outside, they're experiencing hate.
Right.
Get out of here with that mess. Okay, go on, play on. So that was it. So basically what I want to say about this here is that, play on, because there was a point that he said. Play on.
Disrupt those communities. How do you see that and then not want to immediately end this nonsense political war on drugs? This prohibition that has proven to be disastrous in its effect, but it turns out it was done to be a war on black people and liberals, who they called hippies back then. Now, originally they were trying to use more of the legislation of heroin against blacks, but it turns out later they were like, oh, blacks smoke marijuana just like whites do. Okay, let's arrest them for that. And they arrested them at 4 times the rate of whites, even though they smoke at the same rate.
Pause it. That's what I wanted to get to. They was arresting black people 4 times the rate of white people for doing the exact same thing. Right. So it's no mystery as to why the Panthers was out there when the police stops it all, because it's always been a hatred against us. Right. So what happened with when they were locking us up 4 times the rate? What also happened in the 70s and the 80s? The prison industry went boom. All kinds of investments in private prisons just blew up all over the country. As a matter of fact, that video, the 13th Amendment points that out. That's what that goes into. It shows you how the prison population just exploded.
Right.
Because they said we're locking them up and we're going to make money off of them at the same time. This is the reality that we're dealing with. So that's what's happening here. I know this is bad news. A lot of people don't like to hear these kinds of things, but we have to recognize where we are. And the purpose of it is for us to band together and do what this Bible says and repent and operate as a nation, as a body. Right. We did have to depend on each other because we ain't got no friends out there.
Right. It's a reality.
It's a reality. Play on.
Point was to make sure that they could arrest their political enemies. How could you know that and still be in favor of the war on drugs? Well, Ehrlichman goes on. He says, we could arrest their leaders, raid their homes, break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night on the evening news.
That's the part that I wanted to get to. Social media. So with this going on, now I'm going to move to the 80s. So now that this is going on, our leaders have been killed. Our meetings have been disrupted. They turned us against each other. Black on black crime, all that mess, they fortified that. Even in the rap world, East Coast against the West Coast, brother against the sister, light skin against the dark, all of the stuff that Willie Lynch talked about in his book, it's still here. Okay, we fighting all kinds of wars. My block against your block. My street against your street. I mean, the mess goes deep.
Colors.
Colors.
Husband against wife.
Husband against wife. Right. The children against their parents. Mm-hmm. All of these are the little wars that have just been dumped into our lap to wrestle with. Meanwhile, our enemies is just running rampant and dominating us in evil and slavery. Mm-hmm. So these are the things that have been the result in the black community. Now get the other video, what the drugs actually did. This is the many faces of the dope, of what it did. So now the crack is in our neighborhood. Mm-hmm. The dope is in our neighborhood. All of that, like I was telling you earlier, them dudes that be on the block. This is it. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, hit it.
In 1985, the number of Americans who said they regularly used cocaine reached 5.8 million people. At the time, that meant 1 in every 35 adults was hooked. And crack cocaine, which was made by cooking powder cocaine with baking soda and water, became especially popular.
Now, how in the world did we know how to make crack cocaine? Right. Who taught us that? Who learned you? Right. Who learned us how to do that? Right. They made sure that we knew. Man, listen to this. We failed chemistry in high school, but we became a supreme chemist when it came to making crack. Who learned you?
Good to do evil, huh?
Good to do evil. So go ahead.
Not only was crack smokable, it was also cheap, readily available, and produced an intense high. But the fun didn't last for long.
I remember growing up seeing those vials all over the ground.
Who you telling about?
Stepping on it, all of that, all over the ground. Like I couldn't believe it.
Bro, we asked that question. Where in the hell did these vials? Who makes those? Because that's the question that we asked back then. Red top, I used to see them selling. Red top, blue top, gold top. Niggas that did this, they know that that's the language. Yo, how many you want? How many you want? Yo. That's what's going on the street. Because you ask the question, who makes what factory makes those in Harlem? Where did those little crack vials come from?
Right.
The vial, where did they come from? All of that was ushered in. Go ahead.
Long. From destroying families to turning neighborhoods into war zones, the crack epidemic completely devastated the United States. In response, police across the country racked up arrests in the inner cities.
Hold it. You heard what it said? Racked up arrests in the inner city to fit the thing with the drug. I mean, to fit the thing with the jails. Who's going to build these hotels and don't have to have tenants in it? The tenants was your sons and daughters, was your fathers and sons mainly. Going to jail. Go ahead, Ehud.
No, I was going to say, if you remember the first picture, Bishop, where you had, 2 Edomites and 1 Jake. So Esau was doing it too, but like I said, who racked up the prison though?
Yeah.
Even though Esau was doing it too, they focused on.
They always throw some Edomites in there.
Right.
They always do that to make you think it's indiscriminate. Right. But the black people, when you watch that documentary of 13, they showed that America has the population. They say how many? Well, they said that we represent about what? Like 14%, 15%. But we make up 85% of the jail population. Right. So don't tell me about some white folks smoking cocaine and basically getting a desk appearance and say, "Be good now, Johnny," and let them go. Go ahead.
And the DEA ramped up drug seizures. By 1988, the DEA had seized 60,000 kilos of cocaine, in comparison to just 200 kilos seized in 1977. Meanwhile, First Lady Nancy Reagan told children to just say no to drugs, and the DEA...
I had enough of this whole... I can't do it.
It get worse.
Say no to drugs. Here she come out of Beverly Hills telling us how to get off crack. Her behind ain't never dealt with none of that at all. Go sit your behind down somewhere. So I mentioned this. So crack, because I didn't even get to view this, but I wanted to see the devastation of what happened to us during this crack era, this crack epidemic. Okay, I've seen it ravish Harlem. I've seen it ravish Washington Heights. I've seen it ravish Inwood. I've seen it ravish Brooklyn. I've seen it ravish the Bronx with my own eyes. I've seen what it did. I've seen what it did. Right. And now it's everywhere. I've seen what that damn thing did. People brought my own block, the people that I knew, that got shriveled up. I couldn't even recognize them no more. Right. I seen what it did. Mothers selling their babies for a hit of... It was damn horrible. But anyway, with all that being said, now did I send anything else after this? That was it, right? Okay, that's what I want. Now I'm gonna come. Now I'm about to speak about this here. Now here we are in the 80s. In the 80s, 1986, 1987, 1988. But even before then, you had, because I'm gonna talk about the brothers that was trying to there was an attempt to be a somewhat of a resurgence of us getting our ish together. Okay, trying to come out of the crack era, trying to come out of the dope, trying to come out of the destruction, and it was the rappers that was doing it. So I got to big it up. Not only the rappers, you had the people in the community, like I would speak about the Global Black Experience on WLIB in New York from the Apollo Theater. They would have these special people. They would have these leaders in the community that would actually come on the radio and would speak about us getting ourselves together. like brother Amos Wilson, Claude Anderson, what's the guy named Smalls, Edward Scobie, Gary Bird. All of these dudes would come on the radio and was trying to uplift Harlem. But that was on one scale. Then you had the rappers like Public Enemy, KRS-One, like Kevin Shabazz. There was a few others, but those are like the three top ones that I used to listen to a lot. These brothers was making rap music that was dealing with the problems in our community. So again, there was a consciousness that was coming through. You know, we was starting to wear the African medallions. You know, get the, you know what I'm saying? We were trying we was trying to get right, because that's why I said I was into that. The Islamic, I was following, trying to wake up. So, but alongside of that wake up, the music was changing. Public Enemy came out with a song called, well, I'm gonna put it here. There was a lot of songs that Public Enemy did, but there's a reason why I'm mentioning Public Enemy, because what I'm gonna mention next is gonna show you that this next group is basically SPLC today, trying to stop the gospel once again. All of this is what we have to be delivered from, because our enemies are relentless in trying to keep this truth from coming out. So now I'm speaking about the Public Enemy situation. One of their songs was called Night of the Living Bassheads. I remember listening on the radio. I used to listen to Mr. Magic. Everybody knows in New York, they know about that. And they played one of Public Enemy's songs called My Uzi Weighs a Ton. And Mr. Magic didn't understand what the record was about, and he criticized it the first night when he played it. Right. He said, here's another one of these dumb rap music. I'm not quoting, but he was basically saying, here's another one of these damn dumb music. Now he's talking about carrying a Uzi such and such. You know, and, you know, my brother, Mr. Magic, he's passed away, so I'm not going to speak against the brother. Because he had some good points at the end of the show that he would say that he'd tell us persistence overcomes resistance, and any man can learn from his own mistakes, but it takes a wise man or a wise girl like you to learn from the mistakes made by others. He would say that at the end of his show. So that was good. So the brother tried to do some good, but he did not understand Public Enemy's point about My Uzi Weighs a Ton. What he was talking about was his mind. Same thing with Ice-T. That's the other brother. Ice-T said the lethal weapon is my mind. All that information came out then. You had X-Clan. There was a lot of conscious music coming out then. So when this information was coming out, brothers was starting to change their attitude. Brothers going working out. That was another record that Public Enemy. So I came up in that, and right from that's when I came into the truth. Okay? But I came up in that era. So why am I mentioning all of this? Because particularly when Public Enemy came out, let's read this here. This was a song that they did called Night of the Living Bassheads. Let's read. Let me see what it says here. Because if they don't say it in this article, I'm going to say it.
Yes, sir.
Let's see what they say.
Night of the Living Bassheads is the third single released by hip-hop group Public Enemy. From their critically acclaimed album, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. Mm-hmm. The lyrics deal with the effects of crack cocaine on African Americans during the 1980s.
That's correct. That's exactly what the deal was. Okay, because that's what the song was about. It was about how the crack epidemic ravaged Harlem. So, what am I saying? Where am I going with all of this? Before this, you had Melly Mel, Grandmaster Flash, and the Furious Five. They made a record called The Message. That was one of the first records that dealt with the inner city problems. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how it keep from going under. That was dealing with the inner city problems in New York. That's what that was about. So sometimes the conscious music came out, it darted in and darted out. But when Public Enemy came, they made it a mainstay. And they were bringing that information out there. Guess what happened when, and I thought it was genius for the brother to name the group Public Enemy, because that's exactly how they were going to be seen. Right. So that was some smart thinking there. He said, because we're going to be seen as the enemy of the public, meaning against the wicked status quo to keep black people destroyed. That's how I take it. And Chuck can speak, they can speak for themselves, but that's the way I put it. Read on.
The lyrics deal with the effects of crack cocaine on African Americans during the 1980s crack epidemic, referring to the slang for freebase cocaine, base, or crack cocaine. The song released 62 numbers.
Reached.
Reached. I'm sorry. The song reached 62 numbers on the U.S.
Number 62.
Number 62
number
on the
62
U.S.
on the U.S. Hot R&B hip hop
Right.
single and tracks.
So now they talk about how the song was made, using tracks and all of that. But so the point was, like, move down further. It said racial Afrocentrics. Read that.
Racial Afrocentric. Black Panther.
No. Yeah.
Radical.
Radical. No, read the thing above that.
The song?
Yes.
The song uses more samples than any other song on the album. A total of 20, including the sample of Chuck D saying bass. At the start of the song, bring the noise.
Right.
The chorus of the song that asks, how long can you go?
How low can you go? How long can you go?
Yeah.
Death Row, what a brother knows. So that's where he got that from. Go ahead.
How low can you go? Refers to a person degrading himself, herself, rather than a dance. The title is a reference to the film Night of the Living Dead, equating people addicted to crack cocaine with zombies.
Okay, he said it. That's the point there, because that's what the song was dealing with. It was how it turned people. Like I said, I've seen crack ravish Harlem. I've seen it ravish areas in New York and turn people into zombies. People that we knew, people that I knew, turned them into damn zombies. Right. So when he came out with that, he was dealing with it. And a lot of his music dealt with that. You understand? Right. So what happened? Again, who popped up? This group called PMRC. Put them up there. Hey, type it in. I was trying to find something on them. PMRC. I'm going to stop at 8:30. PMRC. It stands for Parents Music Resource Center.
Hey, Bishop, it seemed like during the 60s, you had the Black Panthers and everything.
Right.
It was like a fire.
Yep.
And then they put the fire out.
And then it rose up again.
And it was like some little sparks that, and it came back again. They said, we got to put it out again.
Put it out again. And now the Israelites came up. Then they trying to pour water on us, smoking again with this damn SPLC bull crap. But this is the group here, PMRC, Parents Music Resource Center. Let's read what that damn thing say.
Yes, sir. The Parents Music Resource Center, PMRC, was an American committee formed in 1985 with the stated goal of increasing parental control over the access of children to music deemed to have violent,
drug-related, or sexual themes through labeling albums with parental advisory stickers. Let me read that again. Because I want y'all to understand that the same crap that the SPLC is trying to do to us is what was going on back then. Okay, it says the parents. I just want to bring it out the way I want to bring it. Yes, the Parents Music Resource Center (PMRC) was an American committee formed in 1985. Because remember, Public Enemy came out in '86 with their record. 87, but then you had The Message that was before all of this. Right. So they was realizing that even there was levels of consciousness that was coming out even before that. So the way the enemy thinks, he says, you know what? If we keep oppressing these blacks, keep putting them up on crack, people keep destroying them and all that, there's going to be somebody among them that's going to see through the ashes and turn this doggone thing back around again. So they didn't really want. Let me just flat out say what's really going on. The objective was to get rid of the black voice. Right. And they said that we know they know that the Israelites is what their main force is. But we don't want to give we don't even want to give a conduit that can lead to that Bible. Anything that sounds conscious, we're going to cut that off, because our goal is for them to never progress to the point where some of the people that was into the Africanism, some of the people that was into Islam, some of the people that was rappers and this and that, they might turn to that Bible, which is like what I did. I was into some of that stuff. I turned to the Bible. This is where my home is. And they said, well, we don't want no more niggas like him. Right. We don't want nobody turn into that. So they had their eye on a watch from way back. Right. So when they came up with this damn PMRC garbage, it says was an American committee formed in 1985 with the stated goal of increasing parental control over the access of children to music that's deemed to be violent, drug-related, or sexual themes, and they wanted to do this through labels placed upon the albums of what they call parental advisory. Let me show you how bull crap this is. It's bullshit. Right. I got to say it. I can't dress up the way it's bullshit because they can go watch Terminator.
Right.
They can go watch movies with all kinds of filth, lesbians, homos, doing a rape, all of that, and it's no problem because the black voice ain't in there. But the black voice was in music. They said we got to find a way to shut this music down. And what they did, this same group, they have a board of labels that they put on various music. I remember watching this on a Donahue program where they had Luther Campbell from Two Live Crew. They had some white people up there. Then they had a black brother who was locked up for playing who was locked up in Broward County for playing Luther Campbell's records because he was talking about all that nasty sexual shit. Yeah, but again, he was right. The Sounds of Miami. The Sounds of Miami. So they locked him up, but they really wanted to shut down rap music. That's what their whole point was. And Luther Campbell was on the stage, and they got the white guy who was an advocate for PMRC. He was basically saying the music is this, the music is that, and such. Then Donahue played music from Quiet Riot. Or Black Sabbath. And they were playing Bite the Head Off, Chop This Up. Yeah. And the white man sitting on the stage, he's like, what record is that? And Luther Campbell tore his ass up. Luther Campbell said, you're racist as hell. You're busy criticizing black music. He said, but when we played the white ones that you said that you was against also, you didn't even know what the name of the damn song was. This is a racist thing. He clearly said it. He blasted his behind up there, which showed you exactly what this PMRC bullcrap was about. It had nothing to do with shutting down racist whiteness, nothing. It was all about silencing the black voice.
Right. And Bishop, you know how else is BS? Because it said they were against violence, drug-related, sexual things.
All of that was in Quiet Riot. All of that was in Black Sabbath. Right. But they said we're not going to say. I ain't gonna cut you off. They said, but we're not, that white dude that was on the stage, he didn't even recognize the lyrics. They printed it on the screen. Right. He didn't even recognize it. He told us, what record is that? Luther said, what? You got to be kidding. You're busy following us so damn much, you don't even know half the stuff that's on the floor. Right. Go ahead.
They white.
That's what he tore his behind up right there. Go ahead.
And my point is that all of that they said they were fighting against here in 2020 is still there. But you know what's not there?
Say that again?
You know, here in 2020, they say they against violence, drug-related,
it's still here.
Even
worse.
Things.
Right.
It's still here, even worse. But you know what's not here?
Right.
The conscious rapper.
There you go.
Their voice has been eliminated.
You go. Right. You just hit it right on the point. Right. Now they got these little niggas running around talking about all kind of foolishness. Right. Dude, what's this dude with a dress on? All these new niggas they got. I'm calling them niggas too because they make me sick. They ain't about a damn thing. They ain't nothing like with the brothers that was back in the back in the days. But those brothers got silent. Chuck D got old. KRS-One got old. And where was the replacement for them? They brought these new niggas. They ain't saying a damn thing. So that's what they want to happen to us. They don't want no generation to come behind us when we get too old. That's the same thing. That's what they want. That's why that Edomite devil said that he said that the Israelite movement is a fractured organization because his objective was when the old heads go, we gonna take the young. We will get their children. That's the same thing as what they did with the rappers.
Yeah.
And Kanye, he went against the grain. They said, it looked like we got us a wise Alabama here, boy. Wookie.
Yeah.
That's basically what they did to him. Yeah, but the point that I'm making here was that and the person that founded this thing was Al Gore's wife, Tipper Gore. Who was trying to be the president. His wife set this up. So they're showing you that none of these liberals ain't worth a damn. Give me that out the Bible, man.
Yeah.
What is it? Isaiah 32 and what is it? Is it Ephesians? I forget where it's at.
And Bishop, you mentioned those.
Yeah.
You mentioned those names like Public Enemy, KRS-One. We was Officer Ahu could attest to this. Officer Ahu, we was down
what I'm
in
looking for?
South Carolina State.
Oh, liberal.
Yeah.
8.
Now, I was saying we was down in South Carolina State homecoming game, and I even mentioned KRS-One. The young fellas didn't have a clue who we talking about.
Right there, that's what I'm talking about.
No conscience at all.
No knowledge about
Nothing.
just a few decades ago.
Right, none at all.
You got the scripture?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
32 and 8.
Isaiah 32 and 8.
Let me hear.
Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 8. But the liberal deviseth liberal
That ain't
things.
the one I want. The vile person shall no more be called liberal.
You want the vile? Okay.
Yeah. The vile person.
It's verse 5.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 5. The vile person shall be no more called liberal.
That's Tipper Gore, that's Al Gore, all of them. You're looking at them as liberals, but they're vile as hell. That whole movement came from his wife. Look at it. The women who founded, I should have read it. It's right there. Read it. The committee was founded by 4 women known as the Washington Wives, a reference to their husbands' connections with government in the Washington, D.C. area. The women who founded the PMRC are Tipper Gore, wife of Senator and later Vice President Al Gore, Susan Baker, wife of Secretary Treasurer James. Boy, they really meant to look at these people that they married to.
Right.
Powerful, so-called powerful people. They really meant to wipe black voice out. The wife of the Treasury Secretary James Baker, Pam Howard, wife of Washington realtor Raymond Howard, and Sally Nevius, wife of former Washington City Council. So they were looking at Chairman John Nieves, who's the wife of him. The PMRC eventually grew to include 22 participants before shutting down in the mid to late 90s. You want to know why? Because SPLC took over. Wow. Okay. So there you go.
Hey, Bishop, could we read the rest
Yes, sir.
of what's that? Isaiah
Yes,
32?
sir. Go ahead. I'm going to close it up.
5 and 6. I just want you just brought it out with this
go ahead.
scripture.
Bring it out. Close it up.
Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 5. The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be churl said to be
Read
bountiful.
that again. North of the what?
Nor the churl said to be bountiful.
Churl is evil. Nor shall the evil man said to be good. Bountiful meaning good, like he's like they providing a service, like they're good people. Go ahead.
For the vile person will speak villainy.
Yes. Read all.
And his heart will work iniquity.
That's what they were doing,
Right.
Bishop.
They spoke for his mind will speak villainy. That's what Tipper Gore. Villainy meaning evil against the truth.
Like we crooks and just
exactly
wicked. You know what we bringing out consciously. They're trying to make it as though we being wicked.
Right.
Read on.
And his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy.
That's the hypocrisy.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hypocrites. You right as hell.
Right.
Hypocrisy.
Right.
They acting like they're really about the children.
Right.
That bull crap that we read up there. Talking about something we placed. Oh, that's what I was going to say. They said that we the top of that says PMRC was an American committee formed in 1985 with the stated goal of increasing parental control over the access of children to music deemed to be violent, drug-related, or sexual themes via labeling albums with parental advisory stickers. If y'all remember, when you looked on the tapes and you looked on the records, they would have parental advisory, explicit lyrics, this and that. One of those lyrics, one of those labels says bigoted. One of the labels, because it's 1 to 8. It's like 8 different ones. Most people only see the one that just says explicit lyrics. But there's one of the labels that says bigoted, like the lyrics is bigoted. That's basically hate speech. So the question is, what are you talking about bigoted? We're catching hell in this society because we speaking up against it.
Right.
That's how you deem it. Because you don't want to hear the black voice. You don't want to hear the voice of the Hispanics. You don't want to hear the voice of the Native American Indians whose land this is. What if they had a voice to speak? What if they had a mouthpiece to speak and said, "Get the hell off my land"? Oh, that's hate speech. Put a bigoted tape label on his lips. Let's close it out.
But then, can I finish reading this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He said to practice hypocrisy, same thing that's going on with Kanye West, saying he anti-Semitic, but we all Semitic. Not all of us, but there's Semitic. Okay, how can you be Semitic when we Semitic? Read on.
And to utter error against the Lord.
How can we be anti-Semitic?
Anti-Semitic, right. And utter error against who?
The Lord.
That's really what they're doing.
Right.
They uttering error against the Lord, against the Lord's people. Read on.
To make empty the soul of the hungry.
So they searching. They needing to hear that conscious word.
They want to empty the soul of our people.
Yes.
They want our people to have no hope
Nothing.
at all.
Right.
So they put drugs out there.
They put drugs to put us to sleep.
And to what?
And he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail.
That's exactly it right there.
Exactly. Hey, read Isaiah 14:1. We're going to close it up.
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
For the Lord will have mercy with all this hell that we went through, all the sorrow that we went through, and all of the fear that we are subjected to and being afraid to even stand up and speak. The Lord is going to deliver us from all of that mess. He said what? And for the Lord will have what?
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
For the Lord will have mercy on the 12 tribes of Israel. Read on.
And will yet choose Israel.
And God and the Most High will yet choose Israel. Even though we messed up, we broke the laws of the Most High, he's still going to yet choose us because we're his people. Read on.
And set them in their own land.
And he's going to set us back up in power with our manhood intact.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And the strangers shall be joined with them.
PMRC, SPLC, all Nixon and his advisors, everybody.
Right.
Everybody. Yeah, that's old 70s sound, right? Everybody. Go ahead. What it say?
And the strangers shall be joined with them.
And the strangers, all of the nations shall be foreigners, so you can understand. And all of the foreigners shall be joined with us. Listen, go ahead.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
They're going to be made to follow this Bible. That's what that part means. They're going to be made. That's where that rod of iron to bust their backs open. That's what that's talking about. They're going to be made to follow this Bible. Read on.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
And the Israelites shall take all of the nations and bring them to their place, which is slavery, captivity. That's where they're going.
That's right.
Payback. Read.
And the house of Israel shall...
And the house of Israel, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, the 12 tribes of Israel, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Simeon, Naphtali. Yeah. Okay, all of the tribes. Go ahead.
And the house of Israel shall possess them.
And the house of Israel shall possess them. Zebulun, all of them. Come on.
In the land of the Lord.
We're going to possess them in the land of the Lord. Possess means we're going to own them. They're going to become our dogs and cats, so you can understand. They're going to become our workers.
Right.
That's what it means. We shall possess them. We're going to put our name on them. Not the name of Israel, slave. Right. That's what we're going to put on there. We're going to brand it. We're going to put branding irons in their head.
That's right.
I'm going to burn my insignia in their damn head. So everybody know this is my slave. Who's saying this? The Most High. Right. Hey, there they go. They're talking that dang violence again. The scriptures say that we go. I'm going too far.
We ain't
now.
got to read
the
disclaimer again, do we?
Hey, the scriptures say we're going to meditate on terror in the kingdom. Not now, but in the kingdom. We're going to get you back. Read.
And the house of Israel shall possess them.
And the house of Israel shall possess all the nations. Go ahead.
In the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
That's a slave. We're going to possess them. We're going to own them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Slavery. Go ahead.
And they shall take them captives.
In case they don't understand what that just said, we're going to take them captives.
Whose captives they were.
Whose captives we were. We were their captives. They're going to become our captives. Here these stupid people in the church talking about some reap what you sow. Stupid. That's what reap what you sow is. That's what. Right. That's reap what you sow right there.
Yeah. Right.
You put us in captivity, we're taking you into captivity.
Right.
You burned us with branding irons, we're going to burn your behind with branding irons.
Right.
You're all going to get it.
That's right.
Read.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
I don't know how much clearer you need the Bible to be. And we shall rule over our oppressors.
That's right.
Makes sense to me.
All praises.
Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
It's going to come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give us rest from our sorrow, like we was reading in Deuteronomy 28:65. Rest from our sorrow. What else he going to give us rest from?
And from thy fear.
And he's going to give us rest from our fearful hearts.
And from the hard bondage.
And he's also going to rescue us from the hard bondage. God put hard bondage in there. He's letting you know that you're the Israelites. It ain't just said regular bondage. It said hard bondage. When you look at hard bondage, when you look at a people that served hard bondage, what comes to your mind? The 12 tribes of Israel.
That's right.
Hard bondage. The Lord said that he's going to deliver us from the hard bondage. Go ahead.
And from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve.
For we were made to serve hard bondage in our captivity right here. Go ahead, read the next verse and we're going to close out.
Verse 4, that thou should take up this proverb against the king of Babylon.
The proverb is this whole scripture. We're going to take this whole scripture against the king of Babylon. That's America. That's this place right here. This country is going to hear it. PMRC is not going to be able to stop it. SPLC is not going to be able to stop the proclamation of this scripture.
That's right.
And that's what they've been trying to do. They've been preparing to shut the black voice all the way down from shutting down the Panthers, shutting down the rap, shutting down the brothers, they've all been working their black evil magic. Not no white magic. That evil magic and trying to work their practice up to shutting this down. But your hands are too short to box. Your arms are too short to box with God.
That's right.
You're not going to make it.
Right.
Okay, all of your attempts is going to fail. It's already written. Right. We're going to get the kingdom. So the Lord said that this scripture is going to be taken up against you. And read.
That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressors ceased?
How has the oppressor stopped? The Most High going to put a stop to your whole operation with them damn bombs. Go ahead.
Right. The golden city ceased.
Why is it America the golden city? Because she robbed everybody. Okay, one more scripture. Revelation 18 and verse 8.
Revelation chapter 8.
Then we're going to close it up.
18 and verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day.
Therefore shall Babylon the Great's plagues come in one day. Listen.
Death.
Death going to come in one day from God. This, like it says in Isaiah 13 and 6, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Read that again.
Therefore shall her plagues come in one day.
Therefore shall her plagues come in one day. Go ahead.
Death.
Death is one of the plagues you're going to get.
And mourning.
And mourning. Go ahead. You're going to get that.
And famine.
And famine. You're going to get that.
And she shall be utterly burned with fire.
And America shall be utterly burned with fire. Okay. Babylon the Great is going to be utterly burned with fire. Go ahead.
For strong is the Lord God who judges her.
For strong is the Lord God who judges her. Now, give me the 10th verse.
Verse 10. Standing afar off.
Standing afar off, because all of the other nations are going to witness this. Go ahead.
For the fear of her torment.
For the fear of what the Lord did to Babylon the Great, like he did in Sodom and Gomorrah. He said he's going to do the same thing here. Go ahead.
Saying, alas, alas.
For all the nations that's going to see this, they're going to say, alas, alas.
That great city Babylon.
That great city Babylon the Great. Go ahead.
That mighty city.
That mighty city that robbed everybody.
For in 1 hour.
For in 1 hour.
Is thy judgment come.
For in 1 hour shall thy judgment come. Read.
In the merchants of the earth.
There's a verse that talks about that they're going to see. Is that verse 9? You skipped something.
Verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her.
I caused you to skip verse 9. I'm sorry. But now I need to read verse 9.
Yes, sir.
Read.
And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication.
And all of the nations that America robbed. That's the fornication that it's talking about. America banged all of the nations and made them give tribute to this golden country and robbed the nations. Read that again.
And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication.
America laid down and banged them, so you can understand. Banged all of the nations and subjected their foreign policy over there to control their wealth, their economy, everything. Go ahead.
And lived deliciously with her.
And because they took their loans and they took their advances, they got paid. Go ahead.
Shall bewail her.
They're going to bewail when America is on fire. Go ahead.
And lament for her.
And they're going to lament for her because their trade going to be cut off. Go ahead.
When they shall see the smoke of her burning.
When the nation shall see the smoke of this country burning up. Who's going to cause it? God. Not us. We're going to abide by the laws of the land because the scriptures say, wait ye upon me. So don't come after us saying that we're terrorists or anything like that. Right. We're reading the Bible. God going to do this to you.
Right.
Read that last statement again, that last part of it. When the nation shall what?
And lamentate for her. When they shall see the smoke of her burning.
The smoke going to be so daggone high, nations across the world going to see the smoke come up from this place is burnt. That's the reason why ain't nothing going to exist after this here. Okay, that's what the first couple of verses talk about. Ain't nothing going to be left here but them old satire birds and all that kind of stuff. That's what Isaiah 34 is talking about. And it says, and it shall come down upon Idumea.
Right.
That's what we're reading about. That's where we're at. Babylon the Great. All right. All praise to the Most High, brothers and sisters. We say shalom to you. Let's get up our credits. Okay.
Yes, sir. Don't neglect to give alms. For those who would like to give alms, you can fill out an envelope and place it in the alms box, or you can donate online at iuic.concord.nc at israelunite.org. Also, donate to the Booster Club at on PayPal at iuic.fundraising at israelunite.org.
Okay. We also, the Bible, the Book of Our Fathers, is also on IUIC TV. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel, at the Bible, the Book of Our Fathers. Okay, so we're on YouTube. We have our own page, the Bible, the Book of Our Fathers. Also, we're on IUIC TV. So subscribe, share, like. Let's help try to do something with the algorithm before the enemies get too mad.
Right. And
call us a hate group again and try some funny stuff. Do some PMRC, SPLC stuff to try to stop this word. All right. Okay, brothers and sisters, we're going to say shalom to you and good night and happy Sabbath. We're glad that you was able to make it and to be with us this evening. So with that, for myself, Bishop Yawsop and the crew.
Shalom, Israel. Most High Christ bless. Happy
Shalom,
Sabbath.
Israel. Most
High
Christ
Christ shalom
bless.
to you. Most
High Christ bless. Happy Sabbath.